lagging and all that shit. Now you're
No
gonna be
more like, hey, how you doing? All that shit is gone.
yeah, I don't think people realize that. But we are live now. Hello everybody. This is the Political Matrix. I am one of your hosts, Young Morpheus Cage, here with my good brother and colleague, Mr. Cy Lawson.
We
Back
back.
from a busy week. So yeah, let everybody know what's been up, Chris.
Not much. I got evicted, and now I'm living on the street. I mean, so that's what it is. No, let me stop because some people might actually believe that shit.
I know. We're like,
No,
damn, man, they having hard times over there.
over there, right? They need to set up a GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
No, I put myself into a lot of debt, like a lot of other people, and I purchased a home. So now I'm just working to, make sure I can afford this goddamn mortgage.
Yeah.
It's better than paying rent, that much for sure.
Congratulations, sir.
Thanks, son. I appreciate it.
I noticed. I was like, I actually even sent them a message. I was like, does Compton J normally go live on Saturday nights at this time?
Oh, he's live?
Yeah, I was like, ew. That's probably why last week, man. For a second, I was thinking, you know what? They only love me when Chris is here. Without Chris, were they like, yeah, well, I just see him. Fuck it, I'm not tuning in. I mean, damn. But I see some of our friends, some people out there kind of love us a little bit. I see brother Shadow Band, which I don't know how long he'll be on. I know it gets a little late for the young sir there. I see Jack, my brethren out there. How we doing, Jack? I see Kelly. I see Miguel H. Independent is in here. And oh, by the way, everybody letting you guys know. Actually, let me do this right now. You guys gotta, if I don't do this, make sure to remind me that go and check over to Rock Finn. Whatever I was here for the three. I know you were there, Kelly. Some of them don't be loving me the same way, apparently. Let me get that Rock Fan set up so I can read you guys' comments and chats. If you are, let's say if you're watching this, whether it's on Periscope, through Twitter, you're watching through the link I provided on Facebook, you're watching it here on YouTube. If you prefer and you have your Rock Fan set up, make sure to go over to Indie Left's Rock Fan. We will be on there also, so you can pin the link if you want to. Yes, let me get that. But let me make sure I get the Rock Fan up and running so I can get you guys' comments and be able to respond to you. Just take me a moment to get in. It's normally right there at the beginning. I guess I gotta type it in. But yes, make sure you guys hop into Indie Left's Rock Fan. There we go. Boom. All right, cool. So I am on the page now. Yes, like he says, any tips left will be sent to me. So I appreciate it if you guys do give any super raise over there. But if not, just show your support. Make sure to give them make sure to give the page a follow. There are so many talented content creators with so much content coming out. Just give them some love over there more than anything. Make sure you give likes also. All those things go a long way as far as boosting the algorithm. Well, as far as on YouTube boosting the algorithm, but just getting more awareness to the channel. If somebody sees something that has a good number of likes to it, they might say, you know what, maybe I need to go check that out, see what's going on over there. So you guys can be helpful by doing that, whether it is on any of the various platforms, but especially if you are on Rockfin, I will be periodically, when you guys see me looking down at my phone, periodically looking over to the Rock Fan to see what's going on. I see Misha is in the house also. So glad to see you here. Let's see. The title we had tonight I tried to keep it as simple as I possibly could so I could actually remember it. Oh, there's Hamza. Hamza's always dropping me some stuff, and I don't know if you got my last message back to you, but I said that I will be reaching out to some of those people to try to set up some interviews when I can get some time. I got a lot of stuff in the works, and so I will let you guys know all the different things I got going on. But tonight's show we have is we're of course we're going to talk about this shooting and give some of our questions, some of our concerns, and of course our condolences to the people who are suffering, during this time period and all the loss of life. Um, Also, we're going to talk about Joe Biden. Yeah, I know you guys normally see that I'll specify Joe Biden, Russia, Joe Biden, China, Joe Biden. This time I just said Joe Biden because there's plenty of questions going on that we got right now with Joe Biden just in general. So that's gonna be part of it. And then if you guys are just looking at the title and you didn't read the description, you will see that I also put in there George Carlin. And I put that in. I put George Carlin in there for a reason. I'm pretty sure some of you guys can probably see where I might be going with it, or if you read the description, you might see where I'm going. So that said, hopefully you guys enjoy that when we get to that point. And then I see Warren out there. Warren says, "Smoke them if you got them. Yes, drink if you got it too. Just have a fun night, as fun as we can." For the main subject that we're going to get into, but we're going to start off with some of the light work. Mr. Light Stammering Joe Biden is what we will start with. But in the meantime, let's go on ahead and get the show started.
We're here because you have a question that you need an answer to. Hello, and thank you for joining me.
This is the Political Matrix.
Quote marks, because these words did not come from us.
Mostly kidding. Mostly.
Ham and the garlic aioli.
And then they're going to change the narrative to Black Lives Matter to all Black Lives Matter, and then they're going to talk about LGBT.
So I felt like I wanted to put a couple of clips together.
Seltzer all day long. I love that shit.
Doesn't matter where we are. We obviously came up in there.
And you know how he treats them. He don't treat them nice at all. He real rough with them, and you was a good man.
Budget, so much more, are forming this weird cabal.
Yeah, it's not. None of them are.
Do the Chinese own part of that?
So he picked Masvidal. So I have Kobe tonight. If whether it's Biden, whether it's Obama, just sitting up there.
There are people in the Green Party that can organize. No, they can organize. They usually just get blackballed by their own party too.
Taking orders from the private industry here.
You know, like I say, people come on here, they can say stuff they don't normally say on their own shows, which is fine.
Hello. This is, the Political Matrix, as we said. I see Lady Alex is in here. Good to see you. And I know, Lady Alex, you're normally on the Rockfin side of things. So let you know, I do have the Rockfin open tonight. Let's get into some of these comments over here. I see Indy Left starting off. What's up, fam? Any Super Rays left tonight will be sent right over to Marcus by Indy. Miguel throwing up the peace sign. And Mr. Cy Lawson looking very dapper over there in that picture. So how are we doing, sir?
I'm good, man. Just been busy, and we here looking forward to getting back to it. Hey, from your atypical. Hey, what's going on, Lady Alex, Kelly, Misha?
Off to the Rock. I'll be looking for y'all on Rockfin.
Yeah, Ms. Variant, what's going on? Yeah, just looking forward to getting back into it. It's been a busy week, as I said. I bought a house early. I closed earlier this week, so It's been just moving week and getting things in order. So, it hasn't been too bad, but, it's a little busy because I haven't taken any time off from work either. So I've been just doing, everything all at once. Still also trying to keep my ear to the ground to, pay attention to what's going on in the world. Obviously, we had the shooting was a major thing this week. But, in terms of in terms of like other news items, I've just been watching Biden little clips here and there. He gets worse every time he talks, and his team. I don't know who's handling his Twitter, but they're whack too.
Yeah, let's go into that because that's the story I wanted to start off with first. Let's go on ahead and do old frail Biden. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
No. I was waiting for you. I thought you were gonna pull something up.
Oh no, I didn't have anything pulled up right off the bat, but it's just
Shadow.
I just wanted to talk about some of the stuff that I saw. One of the things which caught my attention more than anything, and of course, we could always bring up about how he's so ready to do everything for Ukraine and so ready to go gun ho for Ukraine. I mean, falling over backwards and forwards for Ukraine. But it seems like when it comes to domestic issues, he's kind of struggling, can't find his footing, don't know what to do. I mean, I heard even with the Buffalo shooting, he got some pushback with that because they're like, yo, you showed up for the Buffalo shooting, but what about this other shooting over here that you didn't show up for? What about this other incident? And so you're kind of, when it looks like a white supremacist, you're jumping out ahead of that. And I've heard some people even allude to maybe he's doing that for, the optics as far as for votes. And I would hate to think that his team is that sinister that they would do it, let's just get out in front of this just because of the votes alone. But I mean, what's your thoughts, Chris?
No, he's all over the place. Like you said, the main thing that I've been seeing, come across the phone, the notifications when it comes to news is Ukraine and the amount of money that we continue to give them. I mean, I like being who I am, but I'm really considering changing my citizenship to become a citizen of Ukraine. Because I mean, I want some money too. What the fuck? It's kind of embarrassing, right? Well, not really embarrassing, but it's just kind of I can't think of a word right now. But one hand, we're getting reports that there's formula shortages everywhere. On the other hand, we're sending billions to Ukraine.
And Marjorie Taylor Greene had to kind of make them look bad on that.
Yeah, I think I saw something about that. I didn't see exactly what she said, but at the end of the day, it looks bad that you have to actually go out and import baby formula while you're exporting cash and weapons to this other country. Again, you would think if you care about America as the American president, you think they would. Where is the focus that's necessary to fix certain things here? Clearly, they don't give two fucks.
No, I mean, and they don't, and we'll get into. I don't want to get sidetracked off of into the stuff with the shooting quite yet, but correct. I mean, it seems like it takes something major for him to even partially, somewhat try to give a response to. I wanted to show you this, Chris, because I know you've been busy. I don't know if you caught this quite yet, but these are some recent comments that Biden has made that really kind of raised an eyebrow to me, especially since this is something that I've been talking about for quite some time. Oh crap, I thought I picked the right one already. Let's see.
President Biden's Asia tour at a press conference in Tokyo today, he appeared to signal a big shift, saying that the U.S. military would respond if China invaded Taiwan. The White House quickly tried to clean this up, insisting it's not changing its longstanding policy that the U.S. would simply assist Taiwan in defending itself. China already responding, telling the U.S. rather not to underestimate its resolve to defend what they believe is their territory. Let's bring in our Britt Clement. She's traveling with the president in Tokyo for more. So, Britt, what does this mean for the already high tensions between the U.S. and China, particularly now?
Well, it will certainly complicate talks between Washington and Beijing. Kira, China, as we know, has repeatedly warned the U.S. not to play the Taiwan card. And as you say, Kira, has said that it shouldn't underestimate China and its resolve to protect its territorial integrity. China, though, on an economic level, it's indicated that it wants things to work out economically lately. And that's especially the case since China's economy is facing a slowdown. But politically, Kira, these comments really put them both sides in a bind. Who wins out? Is it the political side or is it the economic side? Are they able to look past this blunder that has been walked back, of course, by White House aides? Or will Beijing be offended that this is somehow deliberate? But when it comes to China, there's no doubt about it. There is no issue, Kira, that is more sensitive than the issue of Taiwan. Taiwan is the reddest of red lines.
Yeah, and China set to be a main focus, of course, when the president meets with leaders of the other Quad nations, right? India, Japan, Australia, all tomorrow. What can we expect to come out of that meeting?
Well, we do know that the message throughout Biden's trip, it's been wanting to deliver this message to leaders in the region that the U.S. is serious and is dedicated to uniting its friends and allies here. That's really what Biden has honed in on. And that message will also be brought to the Quad summit tomorrow, where China says that the U.S.-led Indo-Pacific strategy, it's all a ploy to create divisions and incite confrontation in the region. And while there will be a number of talking points up on the table, during the Quad summit tomorrow, how to deal with an emboldened China, one that has been flexing its military and economic muscles in the region, that will be front and center, Kira.
Finally, those comments taking the focus away from this new trade partnership. You mentioned President Biden launching with a dozen nations in the region. What could that mean for the U.S. economy?
Well, if you look at the 13 countries that have signed up for this, it includes most of Southeast Asia. And Southeast Asia is really important because it's poised to be one of the fastest growing regions in the world. In fact, altogether, if you look at all the nations involved in this economic plan, it makes up 40% of the world's GDP and 60% of the global population. So there's plenty of potential there, but it has been criticized for being too scant on details and substance so far. What we do know is that there's a focus on trade and improving resilience of supply chains, which has been a big issue lately. As we know, the agreement will also hone in on infrastructure and clean energy. There are no lowering of tariffs between members or easing market access. So in theory, it should protect homegrown industries in the States like manufacturing.
Britt Clement, traveling with the president. We will continue to follow the trip. Thank you so much, Britt.
Hi, everyone.
No. Silence him before he even gets started. But, you know, that's that part. I mean, I could bring up clips on, you know, his stance as far as like Ukraine, but he's been kind of like literally you could take something he said like 10 days ago, 4 days ago, and compare that to what he was saying 3 months ago. The man has not wavered as far as his support completely. I want to read off a couple of comments we have from Rockfin. Hamza says, Rockfin, give them their channel. I agree. Lady Alex has a couple that I wanted to read. Says, I miss George Carlin so very much. We are kindred experience. The new documentary about him reinforces this. I need to check that out. I believe it's on HBO, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know in the chat if you guys know exactly what it's on, and we'll make sure to put it out there so everybody will go out there and check it out. Alex says, in a few days, this latest shooting will be a memory on the hill. I believe it. No amount of human suffering and dying will ever change a fucking thing. Ironic. Business as usual. I have to watch my words in front of shit lips and conservatards. Exactly. Yeah, no need to mince your words. Just let it all out. Of course, they're not changing their policies, LOL. And I'll get back into a couple more of those comments, but I saw a couple over here. I wanted to point out this comment especially. It says, Chris wearing his home buying power tee. Oh, gotta love it. Man, firing from deep.
I
He
know,
shoots
right?
and scores.
Yeah, exactly.
And it says, ironically, Signs is making a new sign. Oh, I didn't even notice Thomas had been here, but welcome, Thomas, Oklahoma. How we doing, brother?
Thomas, what's up, man?
Now, I'm looking at all of this stuff going on. I'm watching supply lines start to seize up more and more. I've heard reports that the world is about, 10 weeks of running out of grain. I don't know if you've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a lot of interesting shit going on.
I know, because you have them saying at the same time we're running out of food, there's shortages, but I'm also seeing more. I'm just seeing more content about lab grown food. So it dovetails perfectly into what the quote unquote solution is.
I don't know if you've heard Henry Kissinger's recent comments. Have you heard what he said?
No, I didn't hear what Kissinger said.
Yeah, let's bring this up. I'll pull this clip from Face the Nation because I think it ties in with Biden being so steadfast on basically fighting this proxy war, which pretty much we can all agree this is a proxy war. Yeah, bread is going to be made out of dry tears of shit lips. Gosh, you guys, oh man, guys are a trip. Is it just me or is Chris looking extra beardy tonight? Yeah, Chris didn't get to pull out his special trim kit to get it all lined up and nice, to the 1/8 of a degree inch like he normally keeps it.
Yeah, Kelly, it's funny. Thank God for a do-rag because my hair is like down a little bit, but no, it's been kind of rough. I haven't had a haircut in almost a month now. So yeah, it is probably a little thicker than usual. I go to work, they ask me if I'm depressed.
So Alex says it is on HBO, so make sure you all check that out. That's good for those who eat gluten-free. But let's pull up this because since you haven't said it, haven't seen it, I want to show you. I'm pretty sure the chat has kind of heard a little bit about it because this is what's been going on, the big news. It's caught everybody's attention.
Oh God, you know this guy.
Yeah, but here's the crazy part about it. I'm gonna let you hear it, and I want everybody to be able to. I'm gonna make sure I put it on small or something so you guys can see Chris's reaction to this. Don't even mute yourself. Just go. If he says some stuff that catch your attention, just let it fly.
Years ago, Harvard professor Henry Kissinger came on Face the Nation to talk about a new book. Well, he has another new one, World Order. It's his 17th. And when we asked him about the threat from ISIS earlier, he said we should have already hit them hard. So you're talking about a massive response, not hitting one target, but hitting as many as possible.
When an American is murdered on television for the purpose of terrorizing Americans, there should be a response that you would not analyze in terms of a normal response to provocation. So something has to crystallize out of this violence, and it won't happen without our leadership. We cannot do it all by ourselves, but we can make clear that certain tactics will be strongly resisted.
I want to ask you about Russia. Has the Obama administration talked to you or sought your advice on Russia? Because to my way of thinking, nobody probably knows Putin as well as you do.
And how you define
what the fuck
administration.
Funny question, right?
No one knows.
Until very recently, I have had no conversation, even with the security.
I don't even talk to my good golfing buddy these days. Yeah, somebody was saying, they're surprised that he's still alive. You gotta remember, evil doesn't die. That's why.
Well, I was going to say that's more evidence to point to for the non-believers to believe in a higher power because this motherfucker's still alive. That should tell you that, you know, he must be pleasing the God that he praises or follows, because he's keeping him alive to continue to do his work. I mean, is there anything this guy has done in the course of his entire adult life that's been honorable? You know, let me just stop there. I'll bring it back up because it's going to tie into like the shooting thing. So I don't want to say too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm gonna throw one thing out there to kind of, you know, frame this conversation just a little bit. And I'll be careful with what I say. I have to be very careful. So once you guys perking those ears up and listening, you know, very carefully. It seems that there is a nation out there that has the same mentality to, if you even close to attack them, your response needs to be so far above what was done to you that it makes the other people not even think of wanting to attack you again. There's one country in particular that I can think of that's like that they don't believe in tit for tat, you know, equal response for what you do. Normally a very overkill response for anything that you do. This man happens to be a part of that certain, you know, or has ties to that nation biologically. So I'll let you guys figure out what I'm trying to say there. And it's just kind of interesting that that seems to be kind of a pervading mentality between the IOF. So I see Tina is in the building. Hey, Tina, glad to see you. I'll read Thomas' comment before we get going again. It says, Kissinger wants America to stop funding the proxy war in Ukraine to save Europe from Russia. Yet he didn't say stop the wars, coups, proxy wars helped incite on Africa, Middle East, and South America. That is true. So let's, I see Baba Yaga says, I'm late for an important date, but I made it. Yes, you did. And we're so much better that you are in here with us. So let's hop back into it because he's going to elaborate and I'll let you do. Thomas did a good job picking apart what he's saying there. See if you can see any other nuggets in what he says.
The advisor on that subject. But I have had access to the Secretary of State. It's my basic philosophy is that I don't volunteer advice. I've been in that position and I know what it's like to, but I try to respond to questions when they're put to me.
Well, let me ask you a question. What should our message be to Russia and to Mr. Putin right now? And what should our strategy be?
Well, the situation has gone very far. And Russia is using military pressures which we cannot accept. And therefore, it is appropriate for us to insist that the military pressures cease.
The problem, he says, is to convince Putin it is better for both sides if Ukraine becomes a bridge between them rather than an outpost of either.
We need an outcome that does not make the West appear weak. And Russia needs an outcome that does not make it appear humiliated. Can one find a passage between this? We cannot permit a country to be dismembered, like Ukraine. But we should do it in a manner that keeps open the possibility that Russia joins an international system, rather than that it is put in a position where it feels totally outcast.
You know, rightly or wrongly, there seems to be a perception in various parts of the world that the United States is somehow withdrawing. Do you feel that? Do you hear that?
The fundamental public statements of the administration have emphasized more what we should not do than what we can achieve. And they have implied that a withdrawal of America from certain regions is actually beneficial to these regions. And I think the fear in the countries that I know, and that's very many of them, is that the United States is withdrawing. And the worry is not so much about American presence, it's about American absence.
As for the partisan divide in Washington on foreign policy, Kissinger believes America must always remain involved, must always play a role.
I would anyway prefer it if both parties had a comparable policy in that respect and disagreed mostly on tactics. We shouldn't tell the American people that there are two absolute solutions, because they aren't. We are in a historic process in which every part of the world is changing simultaneously, but it cannot change creatively without a major American contribution.
Dr. Kissinger's book goes on sale.
Oh, shut up. Nobody needs to know when that shit's going on sale. Doesn't he remind you of like, fuck, he reminds me of like Senator Palpatine without the fucking hood on and shit.
Oh, there's a couple of them. You know what's funny? I actually caught some of that Obi shit that just came out earlier, and I was just thinking about it. So it's funny you said that.
Mm-hmm. I see Atris has hopped in here also. Want to say shout out to him, but I'll get back on some of these comments here. But I noticed the Borg says changing the Borg from Rockvan. He says changing anything is futile. I agree. I don't see much changing going on. To even ask this asswipe anything is hilarious and sickening. Yeah, I agree. Got a lot of futility going on. I agree. Let's see what else is there. I think I'm almost caught up. I live for today and tomorrow may never come. Oh, good point. All right, they're having a little back and forth there. So let's get into what are some of your thoughts here?
Well, one, it's amazing he's still alive. Two, when you have a life of leisure, for real.
Good point.
Is an excellent point. One, that he's still alive. Two, that people are still taking him seriously. Not so much the network. Hey, Yipper. Not so much the network that has him on, but the people who in the audience who are still listening. You know, so it just goes to show that there's a lot of zombies among us, because you would have to know that your audience could see somebody like him and they're okay with that. If they knew that the audience was filled with people like us, probably they wouldn't do that, you know. But the media is fully aware that they still have a chokehold on a certain amount of the populace. That's why they can bring somebody like Kissinger on, who's responsible for only Lord knows how many deaths, right? And you bring him on as somebody serious, as someone we should be listening to about foreign policy, as to what Russia should do, what the United States should do. I mean, we already know basically what his mindset is to wage war in all of its different ways, whether it's through proxies, whether it's through large armies, whether it's coup, whether it, you know, special ops. You know, he's all for it. As long as it ends in death and destruction and his side gets to capitalize off of that, he's okay with it. I'm trying hard not to step too much into what happened in Texas, but I always wonder, none of these people who get their hands on these machine guns and decide to go nuts, they never seem to go after people like a Kissinger, or people with power, or people who really like did some
you here.
You know, it's you went to an elementary school, you go to a church, you go to a supermarket,
you go to a nightclub,
a club,
you go shoot up a concert.
Yeah, it's again, you know, that gets my brain thinking like, what else is at play here?
And when you say that, you have to think about the fact of, in many countries, political attacks and assassinations happens still to this day commonly.
Kidnapping.
We're like the only country that, outside of what happened with Congressman Solis, the baseball game where he got hit, survived, and the Gabby Gifford, when she got hit and had to go through the long recovery. Outside of that, the last political assassination attempt has to look back to Reagan.
Yeah.
So think about it. What is the last successful assassination attempt in America had been?
Had to be Kennedy.
Yeah, Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
Now, average people get capped down all the time. But yet, nobody's going after the elites when everybody is so against the elites. I mean, our political class has the lowest polling numbers of all time. Literally have the lowest polling numbers of all time. We literally have the most guns and stuff all across this country. And not one person has even been like, you know what? Congressman whatchamacallit. That motherfucker's on my list. I mean,
even if you just wanted to send a message, and I'm not advocating this, so for all the snitches who may be watching, the YouTube people, we're not advocating for anybody to do anything, right? We're just simply talking, having a conversation.
Yeah.
So again, we're not telling anybody to do anything. So just kill that.
First and foremost, for Political Matrix, we honestly don't advocate anybody really to do anything. If you look at the core theme of our show, we don't even advocate for you to vote.
Correct.
So
you need to be separating yourself from the system in any which way possible. With that being said, they don't even any of these crazed people, they don't even attempt to like send a message. And the ones that really get me are the ones with the manifestos. And the manifestos will a lot of the time make reference to government, people in power, business, people getting screwed over. But yet whenever they commit the crime, it's never towards anybody who has any power or decision-making authority.
Borg brings up a good point here. Borg says the power people have bodyguards 24/7. That is true, but I'm just telling you. Powerful people came into certain war zones, which I know of, and that did not stop attempts. We don't even have attempts in this country. That, for me, being
that's what I was going to say. I saw that, the comment that they have bodyguards, but like you said, even the attempt is.
We don't even hear about like some lone guy who had a picture of somebody, and he had been in his like mentions, like, if I get this chance, I'm taking him out. We don't even hear about like foiled, like none of that. I mean, the closest we had to anything like that was when Oh Boy was sending the anthrax in the letters.
And we know that is not what we were told it was.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, correct. But since we're pretty much there on it, we're hovering over the topic. Obviously,
yeah, we might as well go in. We might as well go into the topic.
Yeah, rest in peace to those children, who passed away. That was very.
And let me know. I got a couple of videos that we can kind of show to kind of go into it.
Yeah, rest in peace to those children. That was really sad. This whole episode though is weird.
Yeah. Well, hold on. One comment. I want to read this real quick. Baba says it's just weird. No one goes after the elite. It's like a phenomenon. Sri Lanka, they go after the politicians. Haha, it's so funny to watch.
Yeah, they were throwing their cars in the water last week. I think it was.
Well, and to echo what's following is right now, Pakistan looks like it might be going the same way. So everybody keep their eyes on Pakistan. Right now, like they went to the IMF to try to get money, and the IMF kind of like laughed them out of the room. They're like, "Yo, y'all 90 billion in debt. You got about 10 billion on the books. Don't even waste your time, and you don't even have like a payment plan. It's kind of like It's kind of like one of us trying to borrow money for a house without a job. That's how they looked at them. So sorry to interrupt you. Let you get back to your point.
No, you good. This whole episode though, it's so weird. It's one, we know a little bit what we know about the guy. You know, he lived with his grandmother. His pops moved on.
Oh, that's right. I guess I'll go ahead and play the video first.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Let's see what I got up in her. Don't be scoping my Twitter. Don't y'all be trying to get too nosy. Let's see.
You gotta change that to the black Twitter, Marcus. Blue, dark one. What's this, Marcus?
What was that, Chris?
No, I just said what you got. What video is this?
Oh, this. Oh, can you guys see it?
I just see a commercial with
Oh crap! I thought it came up. My bad. I gotta change this.
And,
I gotta change the share screen. My fault. My fault.
No, you good.
Yeah. Thanks for catching that because I did not see. I thought it was playing. My fault, everybody. But here we go. Let's take it back.
This shit right here too.
Yeah.
He said you're all gonna die and he just started shooting people. I was playing dead, so he won't shoot me.
That young boy, a survivor tonight of the Robb Elementary School shooting in Uvalde, Texas this week. Samuel Salinas is just one of several young children who now have to deal with the aftermath of such a traumatic experience. Samuel tonight says he does not feel safe going to school. Authorities say officers waited in the hallway for more than 45 minutes before agents used a master key to open a door and confront the gunman. As ABC's Morgan Norwood shows us, during that time, children repeatedly called 911 from inside the school.
A shocking admission from the top sworn law enforcement officer in Texas.
Of course, it was not the right decision. It was the wrong decision, period.
Officials say in the midst of the mass shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas on Tuesday, the commander on scene correctly made the call that the gunman had gone from being an active shooter to a barricaded subject and that children were no longer at risk.
There were children in that classroom that were at risk, and it was, in fact, still an active shooter situation and not a barricaded subject.
They say the commander held dozens of officers back.
From what we know, we believe there should have been an entry as soon as you can.
Officials say a series of errors began when a teacher left a school door propped open when she went to get a phone. Police say 6 minutes later, the gunman walked through that open door. Seen here in video police are now studying. The gunman then heads to 2 connected classrooms, firing over 100 rounds. 2 minutes later, 3 officers were at the scene, and a minute later, Jesse Ortiz starts recording.
I was yelling like, why don't you guys go in?
By 12:03, there were 19 officers in that hallway, many with long guns. That's when a string of desperate 911 calls started to pour in.
You could hear over the 911 call that 3 shots were fired.
At 12:15, a Border Patrol tactical team arrives with shields, but the police chief tells them to hold off on confronting the gunman.
I'm sick, I want to throw up, I'm angry. I mean, this guy needs to resign. We need some policy changes. We need from our hometown on up to the governor.
Tonight, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who initially was told that officers immediately rushed in, vowing to get to the bottom of the police response.
I was misled. I am livid about what happened.
And the Texas Department of Public Safety is conducting a review of the police response. The district attorney also telling ABC News once that investigation is complete, she'll determine whether charges will be filed. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Uvalde, Texas.
He went in the classroom.
Ugh, horrible shit right there. I had one other one too.
You know, you should just play the one I sent.
Yeah, I'll play that one too after
Yeah.
I'll let you weigh in. But let me put this other one up on the screen also. Oh man.
You know, the more media reports I watch about this, the more my brain just starts going into a less sensitive place, shall we say.
Well, I mean, you listen to the governor, he's like, I was misled by the people. I mean, like, literally no emotion at all in that dude's voice. Like, he could care less.
Second deadliest school shooting in U.S. history. Jarring new images of children jumping out of classroom windows to save their lives as outrage mounts on two fronts.
Have parents ever outright questioned the actions of law enforcement while it's happening? No.
From parents being pinned back and law enforcement waiting to act for more than an hour after an incident commander believed an active shooter situation had transitioned to a barricaded subject.
It was a wrong decision, period. There's no excuse for that.
To the factual errors changing by the day.
There was a brave Consolidated Independent School District resource officer that approached him, engaged him.
Where was the resource officer? Why was he not on campus?
He was not on campus.
Parents we spoke with, dismayed by the slew of
Whoa.
But then they, but Marcus, at one point,
where'd that go? Hold on.
That they're going to be safe.
Shit,
Their
where's that one? Hold on. We gotta back
Here's
that
a
up.
look at the timeline. That changed.
Didn't they say the resource officer was there?
One just said that he was right there on scene. Just back that up. And then the other one turned around and said he wasn't on scene.
Wasn't.
Made by the slew of mistakes in this response.
I trust that when I send my children to school each day, that they're going to be safe, that their school resource officer is going to be there.
Here's a look at the timeline that's changed every day this week. At 11:31, police say the suspect began shooting just outside the school. At 11:33, the shooter entered the school through a side door that was propped open only minutes before.
Now, didn't the guy just say 6 minutes later, a teacher had opened it 6 minutes later, somebody else opened it, but now he's saying that the resource officer saw him, then 2 minutes later he's going into the school? Let's keep going.
Before.
That he shot more than 100 rounds based on the audio evidence at that time, at least 100 rounds.
2 minutes after that, 3 officers followed through the same entrance, then another 4, though the group of 7 was brushed back by gunfire, ultimately retreating, officials say. Then an unsettling split screen at 12:03. 19 officers fill the hallway as a 911 call comes from inside a classroom. The caller whispering they were in.
If they were pushed back, how did they end up with 19 officers in the hallway in that short amount of time if they were pushed back?
Room 112. The shooter's location isn't entirely clear, though he may have been moving between 2 classrooms separated by a bathroom. At 12:10, the same caller informs emergency dispatch multiple people are dead. 5 minutes later, at 12:15, Customs and Border Patrol agents arrive. The senior law enforcement officials tell NBC News they were held back by school district police. Then a spate of 911 calls. At
Why do we need
12:16,
Customs and Border Patrol?
Why? Yeah, I mean that's a good question. Why would they be responding? But probably an incident like this, probably all law enforcement is probably called. But why would the school board be trying to push them back from going in?
Nothing about this sounds on the up and up, kid. I'm just saying. Each report. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Reports 8 to 9 students are still alive. At 12:43 and 12:47, pleas for help to send police now. And finally, at 12:50, Border Patrol agents ignore orders, access a key from the janitor, and open up the locked door. Facing direct fire, the tactical units take him out. And what's left at the end of this historically deadly ordeal, a city that will never be the same.
My first thing that came to my mind is that why would he kill all my friends? My heart right now is broken into a million pieces.
And only 2 months ago, the school's police force held an active shooter drill here to prepare guys for any situation that may arise. Officials to this point so far have not provided an explanation as to how those 911 calls were not properly communicated to the officers on the ground as this situation was ongoing. Peter and Kristen, back to you.
So many painful questions. Sam Brock and Uvalde, thank you so much.
So many questions I have. So many questions. So confused with all that I just heard there. I see Uma is in here. Glad to see you, Uma. You know, sorry it's on
Hey, Uma, what's up?
rough subject. Ruby, hey Ruby, glad to see you in here also.
Oh shit, I haven't scrolled down. Oh, then there's a lot of comments on this. Okay, damn.
Yeah, I'm wondering your thoughts while I check. While I check the Rock family.
Yo, it's look, it's sensitive. People have lost their lives from what we've been told, right? Children have lost their lives, a couple of adults too. So I want to try to be sensitive to that. However, a lot of what we're seeing and hearing don't make fucking sense. So the teacher propped open the door. What was the door propped open for? That would be my question to that teacher. Why would that door be propped open? What were you doing? Did you go outside to hit the joint? Did you go smoke a cigarette? You know, did you sneak your boyfriend or girlfriend in or out? I don't know. But the fact that that door was left open, and was it the front door? Are we talking about side door? All this stuff really kind of matters, right? To figure out exactly what happened. Moving forward from that point, if we saw them shoot Buddy in South Carolina running away from the cop, I guess if the shooter was black, you know, they had no problem running in there after him, shooting up the whole damn place. We've seen that happen multiple times. So I don't know what caused them to stop. Secondly, they said he fired off 100 rounds, at least at one point.
Yeah.
Not for nothing, like for the amount of people who died, for the amount of shots that he supposedly fired, the death toll should have been a lot higher.
Also, another thing is, was he shooting with two rifles at the same time? Because in order for you to shoot 100 rounds, he would have at least had to have let's say he had an extended clip that carried more than 30. Okay, let's say he carried 50. Or are we gonna say that maybe he had he had them taped together, which I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, where they'll tape the clips opposite directions, tape them so boom, you could fire, release, click, and flip over to continue. I'm not understanding this. Also, another thing I'm not understanding is because like the door being left open, it's a mistake. I can get that a mistake can happen. You might have a teacher who is a smoker. No, they shouldn't be smoking, and they go out and smoke on their break or whatever. Or could have decided I'm going to go take this personal phone call and arguing with the spouse or something on the phone, left the door wide open. I mean, but when they're telling me before some of these reports that he's outside the school, in front of the school, shooting across the street to a funeral home, and he's out there for like 12 minutes, in which Chris said that from the information you saw, that the police departments were fairly close enough that they should have been able to respond in less than the time it says he got there. We also just saw this in the clip where they said the resource officer was on site. Then they said the resource officer. Well, one said that he engaged him. Another one said that it wasn't on site.
Correct. And you know, if he was shooting at the funeral home across the way, nobody at the school heard anything. to
lock down the school.
Again, it's just, and supposedly the people from the funeral home were calling the police. You would think the police, looking at the map of the area, would then put in a call immediately to the school. Hey, we got an active shooter, in the neighborhood. Lock this shit down. We get those. I don't know how many people in the crowd have children, but to those of you who do, if there's anything going on in the general vicinity of the school, you get a text or a phone call. It doesn't necessarily have to involve anybody at the school or with the school. It could be a block away, 2 blocks away, where it's far enough away from your children that you don't necessarily have to worry like that, but you still are notified that the school is going into lockdown. They're closing everything. Do not come to the school to pick up your child. We will notify you once we've been notified by the authorities that the coast is clear. None of that happened. So I have to question, what the fuck is going on there? Are they all just sitting there with their hands in their pants? Like, the police officer, the police station, there's 2 of them, I believe, in the vicinity. One might have been 6 minutes away, 9 minutes away, 3 minutes away, something like that. At the end of the day, it was less than 10 minutes away from the location. It took them that long to get there. I mean, nobody was on the road. Nobody was driving. They were all just, every cop in that town was just basically in the station or parked somewhere on their highway looking to write tickets. What took them so long to get there? None of this makes sense. And again, I always say,
well, look at Dozier's comment here. It says, why aren't they reporting that he initially crashed his truck into a ditch? He first opened fire on a funeral home, missing employees. Then they called for police dispatch and no one arrived for 10 minutes. I heard longer than that because I heard that he was firing for at least a minimum of 12 minutes up to 16 minutes. But I could be wrong also because none of these reports seem to be accurate and all the details keep changing. But sorry to interrupt you, Chris.
No, you're good. That was good information that Doja just put, that she put in the chat. None of, I'm trying not to call it a false flag, right? Because I don't have enough information to say that it is a false flag.
Well, we won't say that. How about we'll do this? How about I read Ruby's comment here? Remember, we're just reading the comment. Theory, certain people in control wanted this shooting to happen to move towards taking our guns. Excuse me. Also cause more madness in this country so can destroy this country to create one world order. I will not confirm nor deny how I feel because, Ruby makes some good points there, especially if you're just thinking theoretically. Because here's the biggest thing I'm having from this. White supremacists shoots up a place where there's predominantly minorities, particularly black people. Okay, racism, that's nothing new. That's always been a motivation for people to kill. The Pulse nightclub, people having anger towards people in the LGBTQ community. Okay, that's something that that's always been a thing. Yes, they've killed people for being gay or being homosexual. That's okay. That's a motive. I understand. I can understand. I don't. And let me clarify. I don't agree. I'm just saying okay, this tracks. That makes sense. People have killed for things like this before, so there is a precedent for it. We've all heard people who have bitterness and angers to certain levels towards black people, brown people, Latinos, Muslims, whatever. I could even understand if somebody goes into a Catholic church and they say, you know what, I was abused by a priest. They shoot that. Okay, that tracks. The person was abused by people in this demographic, whatever, and they took it out on these people as a representation of the person who did, said harm. But where I'm struggling is, why would a young Hispanic man go to an elementary school and kill predominantly Hispanic children who could have done nothing to him could have not done nothing to anybody at that point. They're fourth graders, and then they're two teachers. This is the part that's not connecting for me. I mean, maybe we might find out later on that like maybe he felt like kids there's no hope in this world, so he had to try to kill kids so that they didn't have to go through a horrible world or existence and kooky or crazy. But no, nobody's explaining a motive to why this person would do this. And this is what's really, I guess, messing with me the most about this, because there's no this is like unexplainable. Why? I mean, and every other one, the Columbine kids, they had a list of kids who they felt bullied them, picked on them. They thought they were, special or arrogant, and so they went after and they targeted certain people. Normally, there's always some method or motive behind these things, no matter if we agree with the motives or not, but there's always a motive that makes some kind of a sense. Not saying it's sensible to decide you want to go kill people because you have disagreements or hatreds, but there's nothing that's tracking that's making sense.
I'm waiting for the news to come out that he met with either FBI, former intelligence, somebody in the intelligence community prior to doing this. I'm just waiting for the confirmation of that, because basically that's where I'm at with it. Because that's what happens a lot of the other times. They make contact with these people. They give them the plans, the weapons, etc., etc. Let's go into the shooter. What do we know about him and his background? Well, we know that he doesn't live with his father. His father supposedly lives with his girlfriend, has a relatively new young child, right? A new baby with his new girlfriend. The father did say in the interview I caught that that the son did complain about his grandmother. Exactly, Warren. We're waiting that the father said that he had problems with his grandmother, right? The mother didn't live with his mother. Clearly, I saw something about the mother in the Daily Mail, how true that is. And
he didn't live with his mother. He lived with his grandparents.
Yeah, and I thought also that it was weird that the mother did an interview with Daily Mail, whatever, but she did the interview with them. I read the interview. You would think if your child just did something like this, not only did he kill these children, but to you personally, that's your child, right? You produced this
and he shot your mom.
Correct. He shot your mom in the face, and her attitude, even in just reading the article, was just kind of like she was talking about the weather. Like
I heard it, and I don't know if I want to pull it up to trigger people, because mother doesn't speak English, and so she gave the interview. What did I see it on? Can't remember if it was I think it might have been Univision or something like that, and she was basically like saying how you should like forgive him and you shouldn't blame him, and he wasn't a bad kid. I'm like, what? I mean, the most detached response I've ever heard. Now, I wouldn't think that, because I don't believe that you can just one day wake up and say, I'm going to go in there and do that. Like some people were saying, like if possibly they gave it, now, could this have possibly been a situation where, was it MK Ultra kind of thing going on here? To me, stuff like that sounds a lot more plausible.
I'm just waiting for the confirmation.
That's possible.
I have my thought, but it is nice to have that. But I'm really, 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 really waiting to see that, because he seemed like the perfect candidate. Don't give him ideas, Marcus. They weren't smart enough to come up with the excuse about killing the kids so they won't suffer. Ain't that right, Barry?
I mean, yeah. Borg says it's acceptable for our military to bomb and murder women and children. But another thing, bombing somebody, that's different than being up close and personal and looking somebody in the eyes. It's a big, huge difference, firing a missile from a distance, and it is literally, killing somebody up close and personal. It's a different thing. I mean, it's the reason why in Vietnam, the stats come back that something like 76% of ground troops who were trained to shoot froze up and died because they couldn't pull the trigger when they were looking to actually kill another human being. And I know there can be all this training and this and that, but it takes a certain type of individual to even just kill another person.
Mentally, correct.
Mentally. And then to kill somebody who has not harmed you. Now, when there's cheating and emotions and all these things go on or whatever, they call it temporary insanity, things like that happen, and you have crimes of passion.
Yeah.
I don't justify those things, but okay,
It's
logically that makes
understandable.
sense that as a precedent for that.
Correct.
But to say, you know what, hey, I'm gonna have you cold-bloodedly just walk in and just kill off a whole classroom full of kids, that takes something else. That's like not even human at that point.
He seemed like he would be like the prime candidate that the intelligence agencies or the feds would want to take and manipulate and set loose like this. Thank you. Mess up this guy's mind. There's something to find. Yeah, I don't know. Even when some of the students that even some of his prior students, classmates that he went to school with, they were saying like he was a bully, he was the aggressor. Like, yeah, they probably made fun of him too, but it doesn't sound as if he was somebody who was in the corner like, don't leave me alone. He doesn't sound like what's his name from Back to the Future? Marty McFly.
Marty McFly.
Not Marty.
Shout out to Ricky Rance out there. What's up, Ricky?
Ricky, what's up? But it doesn't sound as if he was a bully in corner, and you had Biff just chasing him around all day long. That shit is crazy.
Ricky says here, he said he was going to do this 4 years ago, apparently. That I did not know.
Yeah, we'll have to check into all of it.
That's why I pretty much left a big chunk of the show to just talk about this, because there's so much information that's still coming out, information which we were told initially that it's coming back as that was not true, this is untrue. I mean, I don't think I can ever remember anything where there was so much back and forth on what's true and not true, even on basic events, on like timeline.
Even the timeline, Marcus, even the timeline is as in the video you just played. They said every day this week shit changed.
Yes,
every day. Again, I'm telling you, this shit don't pass the smell test. It really doesn't. Again, did anybody see the bodies coming out of there? I mean, everyone captures everything on video, from your personal to the things you see on the train, to what you see on the highway, to burning buildings, etc., etc. Have we seen any videos from the school?
Which they might not have intentionally show that. Like, for instance, I know at the Buffalo shooter, you can't find any photos of him with his body armor on. So I know that they do like, and it's like the same thing with war. They don't show caskets. You know why they don't show caskets? Because they don't want people connecting the real toll of bodies, death. And that's the reason why they got rid of, like, after Vietnam, they don't let you really film any, body being killed or murdered anymore. Because then they know that turns favor that turns the population against, these wars and things.
And Marcus, I see it in the chat, myself, Varian, we keep saying the same thing. I'm sure you in your own space are saying the same thing. Mm-hmm. Where do you get the money from?
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. Jack said that there. How did he get a $2,000 gun? Not at least two $2,000 guns, and not to mention he had handguns also.
The pictures they showed, them shits look shiny as fuck, as if they were brand new.
No, they were brand new. From what they said that he bought them on his birthday only a few weeks ago. Yeah. And I'm wondering, is there any like record of him going to the range and working on proficiency with these weapons or anything at all? Like
that's a good question too, because if you just what he do? Maybe just looked up YouTube on how to load, fire. You know.
I mean, you could pick up loading and firing, but another thing, if you haven't been a person who shot firearms in any capacity, it's not like something you just. It's not like picking up a TV remote.
No, sorry, Marcus. Let me just answer Sign's question. Signs. He shot his grandmother in the truck, and took her truck.
Yeah, it was her truck. Yeah, because I heard some people ask, "Did where'd he get this truck of his own?" Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was his grandmother's truck. Did you? Ricky says, did you even see EMTs at the scene? From the pictures I saw afterwards, yes.
I didn't.
I did after the fact, but also we don't know how long or when they actually got there. Because what we're hearing is this whole situation took basically, at least like almost 2 hours. He got there undetermined amount of time, shooting for roughly about 15 minutes or so. He goes in. He is inside the school from the time the officers actually decided to, and turns out the local law enforcement didn't even do the shooting. According to that last report, it was the Border Patrol who did it. And so the local police I also heard reports about officers who went in and got their own children out. And so if you're courageous enough to run in there and get your kid out, you really are that cold to just leave other kids there?
I mean, look, let's think about this for a second. This is another part that we need to stop and just think about. Active shooter in the school. Where did you enter the building? How did you know what classroom your kid is in, right? Let's just say they change classes. They go to gym, art, maybe it's not in the homeroom. I understand it's elementary school, so they may not change classes often, right? However, so you ran into this building knowing there's an active shooter, and you're just like, well, I'm not going to engage this shooter, try to stop him. I'm just going to get my kid and leave. Again, that doesn't even make sense.
I couldn't see another parent just even allowing that. Okay, my kid's safe now. Let me run back in there. I mean, this is going to sound messed up, this next one I'm about to say. But if these are adults, I can see an adult be like, yo, I got my wife out. We're good. And leaving other adults to their own. But I can't see you saving your kid and saying, oh, well, their friend who they play with all the time, I'm going to leave them in there. I don't get that part. Another thing, somebody brought up about battering ram. These are classrooms. These are not like barricaded doors. You don't even need a battering ram. If you got a pry bar, which most of these cop cars have something to that degree in there, could have easily popped that door open, no problem. Also, from every school that I was in, even if we had hardwood doors, which you can still shoot through a wooden door, they all have a little window normally in the classroom. So you can literally see into the classroom. A bullet goes through glass. These are not bulletproof. This is not bulletproof glass that are in, these classrooms. So you did not need a battering ram. Also, if no kid is next to that door, it's not hard to put 2 or 3 rounds right through that hand and go in. And he's already shooting like crazy. I mean, I'm having a hard time also. Most classrooms I ever went into, the way classrooms were set up, on the outside of the classroom, there were windows.
Why didn't, so no one creeped around from the other side to try to catch him through the window?
I mean, it's a lot that I'm not trying to say anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm just asking questions because this is not making sense to me. I mean, the more and more information that comes out, the more and more that this gets murky and confusing. And it sounds almost like the police department is hiding something, because they're the ones giving the official statements that are turning out to be wrong over and over and over. And then you have the governor literally sounding stone cold about the whole thing. He gave me bad information. Well, that's pretty convenient. Somebody who is up under you, who you can fire and destroy their career, you blame everything on that person, a person who can't question or say, hey, wait a minute, the governor told me to stand down. Governor told me to do X. The government told me to do that. I tried to do this. Because I know the civilian world is a little bit different, but when I was in the military, the person who's at the top of the chain takes the responsibility, no matter who within your chain screwed up. And I noticed in the civilian side, it's far more common to deflect off and blame the junior person. So I'm trying to figure out where is the fault, and that police chief or sheriff, whatever the hell he is, he's been caught tripped up, wrong on timelines, contradicting other officers. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with these officers. I don't put the onus on the fact of even the teachers, because somebody brought up Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook, the doors were closed. You know what he did? He shot through them and went straight through. Didn't stop nothing. So I don't think that, I mean, unless they're going to start putting, literal like quick shut type armored doors. I'm talking about the ones where if you lock it down, you just you're going to do something like that. Then okay, that makes some sense. But I'm not. I just have way too many questions for things that's not adding up.
Oh, Marcus, look, I got this video I wanted them to watch. And look,
sure, go ahead and bring it up. I'm trying to read some of these comments while you go for it.
Yeah, I just want people to watch a video. I'm pretty sure most of them saw it already, but for those who didn't, and I hate using CNN, but it is what it is. But yeah,
this bothered me too, Baba. It says tackling parents, cuffing parents. I go buck wild if a cop did that to me in that situation. Not only did they do that, they were pepper spraying parents and had their like stun guns out and tasers to try to stop them if they were going to go in. There were some of them were like, dude, just give me the armor and a gun and I'll go in there. And you have to have some kind of shame and embarrassment if somebody who's not even a cop, let's throw out a random, I mean, say he's an accountant and he's like, dude, I'll go in there. And you as an officer who takes this job to be, a job that is supposed to be dangerous. I mean, now I could go into after this, I'll go into something else, which I think a lot of people don't realize, or I'm not gonna say you don't realize. I just don't think that we think about it all the time. And so I'll bring that up after this, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm gonna play this video. I just want people to just watch and listen.
What do you want people to know about it? That she was just trying to do the right thing. She was just trying to call the cops. She was so scared of just strangers and things like this. Like she would lock the door when I would step out to put gas in the car. Like this is literally like her worst fear. And she was just trying to help everyone.
She talked about something like this.
So I'm a med aide. So when I arrived on the scene, they still had kids inside. They started bringing the kids out. and I was aiding assistance. One little girl was just covered in blood, head to toe. Like, I thought she was injured. I asked her what was wrong, and she said she's okay. She was hysterical, saying that they shot her best friend, that they killed her best friend, and she's not breathing, and that she was trying to call the cops. And I asked the little girl the name, and she told me, she said Amory.
That's how you learn.
She was so sweet, Mr. Cooper. She was the sweetest little girl who did nothing wrong. She listened to her mom and dad. She always brushed her teeth. She was creative. She made things for us. She never got in trouble in school. Like, I just want to know what she did to be a victim.
And she loved being a big sister. You have a 3-year-old son named Zane.
We have a 3-year-old son named Zane who asks for his sister every morning when he wakes up.
He doesn't know at this point, I assume.
We've informed him that his sister is now with God, and that she will no longer be with us. And of course, he just cried. I mean, he's 3 years old, and it's still just emotional for him to even process. She just turned 10. Her birthday was on the 10th, May the 10th, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. You had a party for it.
We just gathered a family and had a dinner. She just got her phone. She'd been wanting her phone for so long, and we finally got it for her. She just tried to call the police.
She actually tried to call.
Yes, I got confirmation from 2 of the students in her classroom that she was just trying to call the authorities. And I guess he just shot her. How you look at this girl and shoot her? Oh, my baby. How do you shoot my baby? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, of course. How's your wife?
I just want to ask everybody to just keep my wife in their prayers. Amory had the best mother. She did everything she could for her daughter, and she's just beating herself up so bad about this. And maybe it's not your fault, I promise. She just wants you to be happy.
Is there anything else you want people to know about Amory?
I just want people to know that she just died trying to save her classmates. She just wanted to save everyone.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I wish you peace in the days ahead.
Thank you, Mr.
Angel Carson, thank you.
So there's the video. Look, that should look like a performance to me. I know they're gonna say, "Damn, he's mad insensitive, and he's fucked up for saying that." When's the last time you or anybody in the chat cried? Just think about how you were when you were crying, especially like depending on what the situation was. Dog, there's snots coming out your nose, dog. Your tears, you can barely talk. Especially after losing your child. Think about this. You just lost your child, and you're sitting there on TV with glasses, and you're just hugging a picture, and you're, "Mr. Cooper, I'm sorry. What the fuck you apologizing for when it's your kid who just got killed, murdered? This shit ain't making no sense to me, dog. look, I'll say it if nobody else said. That interview was super awkward. Very awkward. I'm gonna say it. That should just seem like a bad performance. I didn't see a single tear. I didn't see no snot coming from that dude. Again, your child just died. I have children. I could just tell you, I could just tell you this. If something happened to any one of my children, first of all, the day after, 10 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours later, I'm definitely not standing up having a conversation with fucking Anderson Cooper, number one. Number two, you're going to get that camera out my face. Matter of fact, you should want to stay away from me. People would want to stay away from me after I lost my child in the most violent of ways. And then to learn that the police were there on scene, nobody did nothing. I ain't got nothing else I ain't got nothing else to live for at that point. I may just become the motherfucking terrorist. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really would, in fact. I'm not gonna stand there doing all that. Like I'm nah. That interview was straight pure performance. I ain't buying it. I'm really not buying that shit. I just can't imagine one CNN. Correct.
You want me to put it back up?
Yeah. What did that comment?
Yeah, Ali says, I just can't imagine wanting to talk to CNN upon finding this out. I don't know. Yeah, a couple of good comments out there. Facts, I wouldn't be doing any interviews. That's what Angela P.
This is your child. Look, for the people who do have children, just think about it. Just imagine. Don't even me. Just I can't even entertain the thought because it spawns an emotional response. So much less if something were to happen, Jesus help everybody around me because I'm gonna be just you. No one could be around me. You understand what I'm saying?
This is the same thing Jimmy says.
Yeah, I would be just like, stay the fuck away from me. Correct. And again, that wasn't on the scene. You caught him just there. That was set up. That was the day after. Or 10 hours, 12 hours, 20 hours, or I don't think it was even 2 days since it had happened. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to understand this. I mean, I don't have any kids. I have 2 nieces, but even without kids, I've always just cared. I've always looked at kids are the most innocent, things, and everything they do is funny. Everything they do is like priceless, especially a kid that young. I just don't understand how any person who now, granted, I'll try to give some kind of a little bit of, I'll just out of because now I agree with my boy Chris here. I agree with most of you guys all out there in the chat also. But just to give somewhat of a defense for this gentleman, I've known of a lady who she was a surgeon. One of my exes, when I lived in Florida, her kid died on one of those they had like these little rope kind of weird like things on the playground. Kid falls in it, gets neck wrapped up in it, chokes to death. Lady goes to work the next day as a surgeon, going in every day, and like acts like nothing even happened. That obviously you can tell that this is a person who's trying to be tough, trying to manage it because they're used to managing everything. But either you're all the way distraught or you're kind of in shock and kind of faking it and still trying to go through the motions and haven't broke down yet because you haven't truly processed it. But I don't even think I could have. The moment I found out, like, I had a child that died or somebody, a loved one around me, their child died, the ire would be on the police and their response more than anything. I mean, I would be literally probably getting arrested for trying to attack the police for not doing more, let alone being able to have a composure to do an interview. Even if I was breaking down, I mean, to have an interview. And I mean, and that goes also to the shooter's mother. Because let's remember, these shooters, their family members still love them the same as the victims' parents love them. I don't know how this woman her son could do this, shoot her mother, and kill himself, and she be able to get on TV and do an interview.
Same with the father. And the father said some dumb shit in his interview. I wish you would have just shot me instead. Like, shut the you sound stupid. So you want your kid to shoot you and then go to prison? I mean, does that make any fucking sense? And again, going back to that interview we just saw, I mean, that shit is set up to make Anderson Cooper look like he's some kind of humanitarian. Are you okay? It's rough for you. She has a little brother, right? You know. Ugh, that whole shit is disgusting, though. That shit reminds me of saying, like, you know, when they go out to report about the hurricanes and tornadoes, and someone catches them with the big fucking fan or wind machine blowing at them, and there's nothing going on. That's what it reminds me of.
I mean, I wanted to read this out there, and shout out to Leonard Trust Fund. He says, "Okay, I've been present around much murder domestically, unfortunately, and that's an oddly different response than I've ever seen." Yeah, I just wanted to put that out. One of the comments from Rocky. I guess we're all seeing it the same. I guess we all just were a little bit nervous to say it. That
Marcus, your kid gets shot and you're on TV apologizing to Anderson Cooper and you're saying, "Sorry, Mr. Cooper." I mean, yo, come on, dog. Come on. Sorry, Mr. Cooper. If you don't get your white hair Vanderbilt ass out my face, you're gonna be the next fucking victim.
Like I said, I'm not saying, at least I'm not saying that this did not happen. I'm just trying to understand something. Like I still don't understand the Vegas shooting. I still don't understand this. You know, I didn't agree with the Buffalo shooting, but could somebody be radicalized into white supremacists and feel like that there's a white genocide going on?
Even with that, look,
that's plausible. That's plausible. Yeah.
Even that one, even the Buffalo shooting, again, that shit weird as fuck too. You had the black guy showing up. He said some of the most dumbest shit I've ever heard. I mean, yo, think about it. People's aunts and grandparents and older family members were gunned down in this store, and you're sitting there talking about forgiveness and all the rest of it. All this shit just seems so.
But when you start talking about the forgiveness shit, you got to remember, this is a crap, and I do call it crap, that a lot of the black church, this is the propaganda that's been put into their heads. Forgive. This is Jesus' way to forgive.
No, okay. I'm telling you, even I'm thinking about, I don't even like to think about shit happening to my kids. But, you know, it's heart-wrenching if you think about them going outside to ride a bike or to go to the store and they get hit by a car, right? Even that gets your blood like, oh my God, be careful, be careful, be careful. Watch both ways. Take it easy, etc., etc. Them getting shot.
Somebody, you gotta put that down. That is a Cy Lawson quote that we gotta keep. Oh man, like I said, I'm
Marcus. I would be enraged.
I guess I'll say I'm a reluctant conspiracy theorist because a lot of this stuff, I'm like, no, I'm trying to find a way around this. I don't know what the angle is. I don't know why the angle is, but something just doesn't feel right here. I mean, you intentionally, or let's not even say intentional. Let's say just flat out fear. Now I do know something that has happened with the police departments. Police departments, for some reason now, and I think this is what goes to a lot of these shootings that we're seeing, these police shootings. You see these cops, how they act towards a person who has nothing on them, who don't even look like they have a weapon. And their mentality is to, like, you know, shoot first, ask questions later. So anybody with even equal firepower, it kind of tracks with the cowardice of some of these police departments. And I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just trying to throw out everything so we all can kind of have this conversation and try to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Marcus, if you and I were standing outside and we quote unquote fit the description and we seen the police coming and we started to like walk away from them, they would say, "Oh, that looks suspect. Where you guys going? Get over here. I want to talk to you." And that could obviously escalate to one of us or both of us getting shot, running away, whatever, right? So, and then if they were to do something to us, it would be, "Oh my God, we fear for our life." So you're scared for your life when somebody has a weapon, and you're scared for your life when people don't have a weapon. What do we need them for? The parents would have been far more effective in going in there to get their goddamn children, as opposed to waiting for the police to line up to handcuff some of them, tell them stand back. Again, what were they doing in there? It sounds as if this shit really happened, it sounds as if they was like making sure that this person could go in there and off these kids. For what reason though? That's the part I don't get. Like, what are you getting from it? But again, and moving into the political part of the political matrix, again, I see the same stupid comments from the same stupid fucking Democrats and liberals talking about gun control, gun laws. Oh, we need sensible gun laws. Yo, isn't it ironic that the descendants of the people who took over this land using guns and weapons are the ones now saying you shouldn't have none? That it's all over there's so many points.
I said it this way: if the Democrats really want to have gun control, and I've talked about this with Chris, for one, if they now granted this isn't a stone cold plan, but if they got rid of the filibuster, they would have guns. Period. I mean, they would have gun control. They would have basically every legislation they want. Now, granted, once election comes around and you lose seats, then all of a sudden it goes back the other way. Extra Bullet says, I got a split doing a secret show around 12:15 a.m. All right, brother, have a good one. I'll try to stop in if we're off by then. But at the same time, I just don't. I don't get it. Well, here's another thing. You guys, they really want to have gun control. Democrats really want to have gun control. Give guns to every black person in this country.
Oh, son, it's a wrap. There will be no more bullets.
The NRA will help you.
The NRA will go through every state and they will pull every bullet from. They'd be like, okay, fine, you can have all the guns you want. You just ain't gonna have no bullets, right? Or something along those lines.
See, Jimmy says good comment here. I wanted to read. So if the Native Americans had guns and cannons and rifles, I wonder if they would still be in charge of this land. And the same goes for all of us minorities.
Absolutely, they would have been shooting their ass from the time they was on that boat.
Well, here's the thing about it though. Even though they we didn't have all those things, that's not why they beat us. What we got to remember is the reason why they defeated us is because of disease. They poisoned us when they said, "Hey, let's have a partnership, Jimmy. Let's be cool. Let's be cool. Don't worry about that. All right, let's put some shit in his pineapples and fuck them up." That's how they took down most of the native indigenous people, through disease, not through weapons and warfare. Because a lot of these white supremacists are like, "We took this country fair and square." No, you didn't. You had to take it through deceit. That's how you took it. You couldn't fight heads up.
And they probably
didn't your ass kicked.
And they probably didn't even realize they dirty asses was like able to affect them like that.
No, they knew because if you go into well, everybody talks about yellow fever and all that. You know what they actually did? They literally took their blankets and put these blankets on dead animals, dead bodies, let all of this stuff get on them, and then transfer them to Native Americans. That's how you started passing all this stuff like yellow fever and smallpox and malaria through to the natives. How do you think they did this stuff in Africa? They did the same thing. Poison the water, put dead animals in their water supply.
Yep.
That's how they work.
And did you see that? I mean, I gotta watch my language here. You know, did you see what that chick Hillary Clinton said? Didn't she say some dumb shit too?
Yes. Somebody put a good one in there. It says instead of ACAB now, it's hashtag AACAC. All cops are cowards.
Yes.
They are. They have no problem running up with 15, 20 into a place with long guns into a woman's apartment and firing on one person turning with a gun. But let it have been 15 people in there and they all put up guns. I guarantee you the officers would have ran their cowardly asses right back out of that room. And what I was going to say is a lot of people don't realize who most of our cops are now. It's not the same kind of cops which we had when we were growing up, Chris. No. It's not these guys who he did 15 years in the army and then got out and became a cop.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people are people who flushed out of corporate America or flushed out of other positions. They used to be a teacher. They were a shitty ass teacher, lost their job, and became a cop.
Oh, these are just kids who, when they finish high school, they don't know what to do. They don't want to go to college, so they become cops.
I mean, a lot of these people are. They used to be RN, not RN. Was it CNA? These lower level different jobs, and then they quit those or lose those, and they become cops. And because they had an associate's degree, they're just taking them. Because you know how they put more of an onus on the degree versus training.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's when you start getting a lot of these basically 1 degree above a soccer mom being cops.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not just putting it on the women. I'm talking about these soft ass men too. That's the reason why you have cops that are telling you tell a cop, hey, I have a gun in the glove compartment. And they say, okay, well, reach for it. No, reach for it. Reach for it, but don't reach for it. Put your hands up, but don't put your hands up. That's why you have all this screaming and hollering and yelling and then just start shooting. Because they get so scared and so flustered. And many of them grew up in suburban areas and were always afraid of Black and brown people.
Remember
weapon or not.
Remember House Party, Marcus? Remember the movie House Party? Remember where the guy from Full Force used to do? I smell pussy. Like that's basically what those guys are.
They are.
Straight up.
That's what they are. We're dealing with. Why do you think they're screaming at the top of their lungs all the time?
Mm-hmm.
We realize the population of police that are out there. You know that only 1% of police actually get into live fire and things like that. Majority of these cops never experience shit. So when it does happen, they freak the fuck out. Just like what you had with the Kim Potter. Kim Potter, the car is pulling off. You could have just moved yourself out of the way and let the car drive off, hop back in your car, and then start pursuing it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys could have decided to step back and aim at his tires. You guys could have did a litany of different things. Could have let him go. Hey, it's not like this guy has a helipad somewhere. He's going to make it to the helipad and fly the fuck out of America. Could have let him get home, pull his ass over 2 weeks later, or come to his fucking mom's house later, or his dad's house. None of these people are going to get away, but all these cops feel like they have to turn into fucking Rambo all of a sudden, like any person they stop or face. And the reason why this is going on is because of the training. Remember, we go back to George Floyd, right? Putting the knee on the neck and all that shit. Do you know where they get that from? The Israeli Offense Force. They get that from them.
IOF, not DF.
IOF, not IDF. They get that from them because they do not look at them as people. They look at them as combatants. Now, when you look at the population as combatants or potential combatants, the cop profession attracts them. I wouldn't doubt it. When you look at everybody as a combatant or potential combatant, your approach is different. The military, because of sweep and clears, how many people would get shot or injured, attacked, whatever, during all these different things, and then you end up like shooting all of a sudden and then shooting half the family up. The reason why they changed their approach on this, or walking into a house and thinking you cleared it and then somebody walks up with a bomb and blows you to bits. The reason why they don't do that or run into as many of those casualties towards the ends of some of these conflicts is because they start taking their time, going through much, much slower. Because it's like this, they're not going to save anybody. That's not their goal. They're trying to get one person. And if they don't get him there, they'll get him the next place if he sneaks out. But if he's in there, take their due diligence to go through everything as slowly and carefully as possible so not one person gets hurt. Because the military mindset is everybody needs to make it home. Number one thing that you're thinking of out in the field, no matter what your objectives, no matter what your captains or lieutenants or whoever has told you what, your job is this man next to me, I'm going to make sure he makes it home or she makes it home. And so that's what you're thinking about. And so when you put that mentality into police officers, they don't care about the safety of the citizens out there. They look at every citizen as a potential combatant that even though they might look like a civilian, they could attack me at any moment. So I got to keep my distance from them. Even when they're bleeding out, I can't sit there and try to put pressure on the wound because I don't know, he could have a secret knife somewhere and stab me. That's military training. When you're dealing with military combatants, those are things that you think because, yeah, you could have shot him, and because he's, because he's so hardcore in his ideology, he might still just think, you know what, my goal is to kill him, even if I'm going to die anyway. So if you're training officers to think like this, they'll look at an old lady who just got shot and not think of her as, oh, I need to get over there and get help to her. The thinking is, I need to make sure that I quarantine her, keep her from harming anybody, and keep myself safe. And this is, and I say this goes into what some of these police officers are thinking. This is why they shoot so quickly. I got to protect me first. Forget about them. It's about me. Sorry for going so long. But go ahead.
No, to tie it back to Joe Biden, he put out that tweet earlier after the shooting, and he said, when are we going to have the guts to stand up to the gun lobby? I'm like, motherfucker, you just sent mad weapons to Ukraine. You just asked for an increase in the amount of money that the military gets. And we know they're not going around conducting peacekeeping missions. They're taking lives. And look, incidents like these just expose the hypocrisy of Americans, right? Oh my God, they shot kids in the school. How depraved, etc., etc. Are you aware of what the military does across seas? Do you know how many kids we've killed at home, at a funeral, at a wedding, at a birthday party? So it's just like, oh, we don't care about it because, who gives a fuck about some kids in Afghanistan or Yemen or Iraq or Libya? Oh, these poor Texas kids, they didn't deserve it. These poor Parkland kids didn't deserve it. It's the hypocrisy is a bit much, and it really just makes me look at people and just want to keep my distance from them because they're really stupid, and I really hate to hear the things that they say and just how lacking they are in terms of being able to think about these issues even deeper. And back to my original comment about Joe Biden and talking about when are we going to have the guts to stand up to the gun lobby? I mean, how much money do we spend on the military every year? You telling me that they don't make a shit ton? That
Biden's newest military budget was what, $815 billion?
Correct. How much of that goes towards manufacturing assault rifles, handguns, and the like? A lot. How much does that go into, transport
or paying people to manufacture them?
That's what I mean. Yeah. So look, this country is founded on death, genocide, just straight evil shit. There were people here. Yeah, they was fighting amongst themselves here and there, but they damn sure weren't genociding each other, at least from what I've read, etc. But this This country was founded on this shit. And the people, the descendants of the people are still in charge of the ruling class. They've carried on their family's tradition. It's what it is.
Well, and I mean, I remember I was telling you about that they had found evidence about how in a lot of these police forces that they found that the KKK have secretly, well, I guess not secretly, they've always kind of been in there, but when you start looking across the board at the top leadership, KKK, former KKK, all the way across. And so it makes sense. Like I said to somebody, I said, just think about this. Predominantly white police force in a predominantly Hispanic town and school. I mean, if you would have flipped this has been a predominantly white school, and you were told that this was a black or brown shooter, I wonder how different things would have been. Because it almost seems that it wasn't worth it for them to risk their lives to protect these black and brown babies and a couple of teachers in here. Now, granted, not all the kids were brown. I mean, there were a couple of white kids in there too, but I think I don't want to say this for a fact because I don't know anything for a fact about any of this. This is why we're having this conversation. I've heard a lot of people focus on different points here and there. We're not really here to focus on any points because we don't know anything. We don't know, and we will know anything, but we just have a lot of questions. And so I wanted to focus on some of these questions that we had.
And, of course, we're not going to see a full as it relates to what happened in Uvalde. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but, Uvalde, Texas. We're not going to see a real investigation. They're just going to give us a report. That investigation that we're going to get is going to be as real as the Steele dossier. It's going to be as real as the election results. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's going to be. We're not going to see any pictures on the inside because, I mean, if you really wanted to show, show us the carnage. Show us the classrooms full of the bullet holes. I know that could be traumatic to some people, but shit, y'all put all kind of traumatic shit on TV anyway.
Well, I look at it like this. If the Democrats were that concerned about gun control and they really believed what they need to do is to get gun control, and that's the key, then show more of the carnage. And because this is what happened, the reason why it changed people's approach towards the Vietnam War and why they still do not show coffins coming home anymore is because when people saw that human toll, it made them go against the Vietnam War.
Marcus, are they going to ban the guns the way that they banned liquor during Prohibition and drugs during the war on drugs?
Even if they did, it will be too late.
No, I'm just saying drugs are illegal. They've been around my whole fucking life. From the time I was a kid.
And that's what I'm saying. You banned it. You're not going to get rid of these guns. And also with the fact of ghost guns out there now, you're not getting rid of guns. It's not going to happen. Not in America. I mean, maybe you were in some other country. It's possible. You're not even going to get rid of them completely. It's illegal across all of London. I mean, all of England. And you still have and there's still guns which still creep in there. It's minor, but you still have them.
Mm-hmm. Look, Baba just referenced that other actor, Beto O'Rourke. Yo.
I mean, he's a political actor. It's all about capitalizing. This dude is like, I mean,
son, he's worse than Ric Flair. He's worse than Vince McMahon. He's just everywhere talking nonsense.
Dude, you know how close he was to winning last time. He's like, he's calculated. This is a winning issue for him.
He's such a scrub. I mean, and he's a bad actor. And he's just, again, that's like AOC crying at the border, right? They just find actors. What does it say? Loudest voices on guns. They know. You're correct.
Well, here's something.
Vince was my guy, but you know that was fake. You know, at least nobody was really getting hurt. You know, and variant. You know, I fuck with Ric Flair too.
I mean,
I know that's your boo thing.
And I'm gonna put this out here. This is something that most people didn't even catch. I don't think they caught about the AOC thing. Because I have to remind this to people out here, especially in California, all the time. Puerto Ricans, because granted, it was fucked up circumstances. They wanted to have more bodies on the front line during wartime. That's the reason why Puerto Ricans got the right to be citizens. Granted, it's still a second-class citizenship, but by the fact that Puerto Ricans have a Social Security card, most Puerto Ricans will tell you, if you really talk to them, they don't give two shits about immigrations. They don't care about it. It's not an issue.
It doesn't affect them.
Exactly. So people see a complexion and a skin tone and automatically think, oh, well, you know what? They really care about the immigration. No. Keep in mind, what is AOC again?
Is she Puerto Rican? Yeah, she's
Puerto Rican.
Correct.
AOC don't give two shits about no damn immigration. Never has.
All of her people can come here with just a freaking they can come from wherever they are in Puerto Rico. They can come to New York, Florida, Texas.
Oh, and Israel.
Yeah,
because she's part Jewish also. She's Sephardic Jewish. So she got the Spaniard. She has that Spaniard side also. So that gets into a whole different argument too between, you know, indigenous Puerto Ricans versus ones who are descendants of the Spanish colonizers. So it's, you know, that gets real deep when you start thinking about, because a lot of people don't realize that there still is that divide also between the colonizers still having power in most Latin American and Caribbean countries. It's not like the indigenous have this free will. They're in the same situation as Black and brown in America.
And Marcus too. I took shots at the people who want gun control, but I also got, you know, heat for the ones who talk about good guys with guns, stop bad guys with guns. So what happened then?
The good guys with guns didn't do
all them pussies like a Brandon Tatum or the Candace Owens, you know, I can't stand them two fucking idiots. You know what I'm saying? But they're ones who be like, get good guys with guns, you know, get people in the school. Shut the fuck up. You sound stupid. Because you had people who were trained with weapons and they did absolutely nothing. So that whole good guy with guns shit, we could get rid of that nonsense. Because to them, the cops are the good guys. They have guns and they still allow those children to die.
Ricky's comment from him over on Rockfan says the hypocrisy is sickening for real. I completely agree. I mean, you know what? Let's go on ahead and wrap on this topic, and let's move on to our next topic. Let me go get it up real quick, because I was watching something the other day, and oh, by the way, for those who follow me on Twitter, I have a poll going. Only about 18 people have gotten into my poll. I would like to hear your opinions. In fact, I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna bring up my poll real quick, and that way, oh wait a minute, I guess I'm already on my thing. Let's see how to. I normally only look at this on my phone, so it's a little different.
Somebody should like knock him off the skateboard the next time they see her,
or at least throw some marbles down there, some grease or something.
Yeah, I called him her on purpose. I didn't mess up. They should throw.
Let's see if I can find my poll. Let's see what the numbers are on my poll so far. All right, yeah, I gotta figure. Well, this is just on the computer. It's different on my phone.
And that's
different
why
on my phone, Chris.
Oh, sorry. And that's why Jesse. That's why he uses Beto, because he wants to sound like he's Hispanic. You know, pero he no Hispanic. He's just a white man.
Wrong accent. You gave Cubano. Give a Cubano accent.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying I can't stand his ass.
Let's see. This is the poll. Yeah, and I was telling you, Chris. Yeah, this is still my laptop one, so I haven't changed it. Shit, I don't even know how to change it.
Okay.
But on my phone, it's the dark one.
Mhm.
Now my poll says.
Yeah, just go to your settings and change that.
Okay. Yeah, he's like, no, this is garbage. You need to get out of this old man version. It probably might be easier for me to read it too. If I did that. I'll wait. I don't want to bore you guys with that. Says I went back and forth on this. I guess I need a little help deciding. After watching the debate between Socialist MMA, Nick Cruz of Revolutionary Blackout, and Destiny, my first instance was to break down the debate and give my take. If you all want to hear my take or not, let me know. I probably should have worded some of this a little bit differently, but I put first one is yes, and I'd watch, comes in at 55.6. No, uninterested, boring. That came in at 11%, 11.1%. Don't need your take, 11.1%, which I wish I would have changed that because I opened myself up for jackasses to respond kind of rudely. Because I'm pretty sure some of these people, the people who responded that way, probably don't watch this content anyway. So, they have no clue what I would say and how valuable or invaluable it would be. And then the last option was hell yes, of course, got 22%. So right now that is sitting at, was that 77.8% who are saying that I should do commentary on that debate. And now, in the meantime, let me stop sharing that. There's still 2 more days for you to vote. Baba just voted. Okay, just voted yes. Because there were so many things that I saw in there. Let me stop that, sharing that. There were so many things that I wanted to go into that I saw in there. And the so-called debate, it was more like a conversation to me. They're not really a debate. One person kind of saying his views and the other, and it wasn't really much of no kind of real fireworks or no kind of gotcha moments to either one, and no kind of, okay, I concede to your point or your point. One guy said his views, another guy said his views, he said his views, he said his views. But there was a lot in there that I could go after or say. Was that?
No, sorry, my phone was going off. I was trying to turn it off.
Okay, now let me pull up this specific clip. Gotta make sure I'm not sharing my screen. I don't want you guys checking all through my messages and stuff. Because I often send clips to people or send clips to myself and then go back and watch those clips. Crap, is it in this one? No, it might not be. I might need to switch accounts. Okay, hold on a second. Bear with me if you. Which one was it? Actually, or I could just go over here and just pull it up and look at my own history. But I wanted to go into George Carlin. And the reason why I wanted to go into George Carlin is because I feel a lot of leftists who espouse George Carlin don't quite understand his very famous quote about the owners. And I feel it's important for us to go into that and talk about it just a little bit. Because I know all of us have seen it, we've all heard it before, but I think we just gotta really go back and let me make sure this is the right one. I don't want to go to the actual George Carlin page and get in trouble for it.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, this one is. Yeah, this is some random guy's name. So I'm gonna get it to the spot real quick. All right, yeah, I think that'll do. This is a good spot to go. So let me put it on the screen, and I'm gonna break down.
I got Marcus. Look, Marcus got his laptop. He all like, I'm screen sharing now. I like it. The progression.
Yeah. Oh yes, I've grown so much in this short amount of time, and I credit that. Believe it or not, Jalen is the one who taught me how to do the screen share.
I don't know who that is.
So some weird kid out there.
No, some kid
that I talk to occasionally. I don't know. He's very misguided.
I know he needs
gosh. I mean, if I met that kid's father, man, I might give him a little piece of my mind. But I shared this video with one of my friends and colleagues out there. Shout out to Gloom out there, Allie. Because I was telling her, I was like, I don't think a lot of people really remember what George was saying here and what we should take away from it. Because I hear a lot of stuff, especially now, elections, and people are interviewing candidates and all this, and then they turn around and then quote George Carlin. So let's bring this back to mind. See, Sign says, I'm laughing over here, pointing at my chest inside where it counts at the political major. Let me make sure I'm all good on my Rockfin comments there. All right, so let's go on ahead and get into this little. He starts off, this was when he was talking about dumb Americans. And so you're going to catch a little tail end of that, and then it's going to get into the comment that matters. Varian says, yes, I noticed that too. The show is looking extra right tonight, and not just because Chris is back. I needed Chris back. I needed him back. You know, I just get in trouble on my own. I mean, I literally just went on a whole like Abby Martin like breakdown of one of her videos yesterday talking about Israel and Palestine. I mean, see what happens? I get in trouble. And you missed the guest that we had, so hopefully you get to check that one out. Which I want to have him back again. It was fun talking to Jason from Story Shelf Stories. That's what it's, Shelf Stories. Sorry. Baba says, it was a lackluster debate, but at least a white privileged man did the debate. You typically don't see anyone with balls to debate black and brown peeps. Well said. I mean, I'll give him credit. Most of them, I was actually really surprised to see that he even debated Nick, because they just don't debate people like us. And I'm talking about complexion wise. They don't want to hear our point of views. And granted, me and Nick have different perspectives on some things, but I was just shocked that he even listened to him. Like, he wouldn't really want to deal with me. I think that would not work out so well for him, because I don't think I would be as cordial and as nice as Nick was. And I give Nick credit. I mean, I know there was points where Nick probably wanted to really put on the gas a little bit, but he's like, you know, I'm gonna keep my manners here. I'm gonna try to keep it hospitable, which that's always good. One thing I am gonna fuck with Nick about though, and if y'all follow Revolutionary Blackout, y'all need to be like, yo, how the hell you get on a big ass platform like that and don't even remember to shout out your own channel? That's like content creator like 101. At least fucking bring up your own channel. Come on, man. Yeah, after I saw Destiny got schooled by Nico a few years ago. And Nico's my boy. That's my brother. The only thing is, I wish they would kind of find where I felt Nick was at, and between Nico, if they could find that little happy medium in between. Nico, he seems to get, when he gets annoyed with these people, which is pretty easy to, he starts getting hot on them, and they're not used to getting that kind of pressure back. So then you get the little weak shit lips like, oh my gosh, she's yelling, and then you lose them, and they automatically look at you as the bad guy because the angry black man. And then
You know, we got to stop running from that too at this point in
yeah,
time. Like, if you think I'm the angry black man, or anybody thinks that any black person who you see is
it's funny.
animated or
Baba said
angry,
that.
he
Baba
didn't
said it
want to.
right there. He didn't want to come off as an angry black guy. Was his main concern. That's why he forgot. I feel. Well, I mean,
Look,
I
Marcus.
understand. I understand. That's what I'm saying. I'm not. I'm just teasing Nick because he didn't shout out his show when he's on a huge platform that could have helped bring a lot more people over Revolutionary Blackout. Which I think there's still going to be a ton of people who are going to come over anyway. But you know, I got to tease him because there's no way I would have been on a platform bigger than mine and not told them the political matrix. Just saying.
You know, you know what? I always say we got to stop running from that, like the angry black guy. You know, at this point in time, who gives a fuck? Wait,
Yeah.
come off as angry black guy? Who cares? Let them do that. Correct. Thank you, Ali. She basically took my point.
Yep.
Yo, you can't be caught up with that shit anymore. You know what I'm saying? If you look, whether you're white, Hispanic, native, black, white, male, female, whatever you are, if you are looking at this situation, there's reason to be upset. If you're a black person, you should be upset anyway, right?
Yeah.
I mean, James Baldwin has a quote to that: "To be black in America is to be angry all the time." I'm paraphrasing, I fucked it up, but that's more or less what he says. But at the end of the day, like me personally, I stopped giving a fuck long time ago.
Well, the Bible also says it literally talks about misery making a wise man mad. So you know, if you come off and you know the old English, that's actually saying crazy. So if it makes you a little crazy, makes you a little well, I mean, look at what we've been through and went through. So yes, Angelica
Look,
PG,
and
yes, stop being polite and civil. I'm done with that.
And you know
Now,
what, Marcus? There's a difference between being angry and ignorant. Thank you, Variant. There is a huge difference between the two. Don't be ignorant. It's okay to be angry.
which I'm probably going to cover it. It's looking like there's no way that that poll is going to go the other way, so I am going to cover it. I'm probably going to cover it on maybe like Wednesday or something like that. But I'll give my in and out takes on both.
I mean, Marcus, look, even think about it like this, right? We saw George Bush's ass, and I wasn't on last week, so I couldn't get this off. So I just really wanted to get this off.
Mm-hmm.
We saw George Bush stand up on that stage and make that fucking mistake and reference.
You mean Freudian slip?
Correct. His Freudian slip saying, this one man invaded and is destroying Iraq. Oops, I mean Ukraine. Iraq. His stupid ass. I can't stand him either. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, people in that room laughed. Just think about that. The same people in that room were probably tweeting a couple days later after the shooting, "Oh my God, it's so sad." But you just sat there and laughed as you thought back on the lies that led to us entering and invading and destroying large parts of Iraq. You know how many kids died? You know how many women died? You know how many unarmed men who were just workers died?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys find that funny? That's what I'm saying. When somebody gets a gun and gets an idea, go to their neighborhoods. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Go to their neighborhoods. Don't come over here. Go to their neighborhoods. They're not hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna cover it. But first and foremost, I'll let anybody know who's seeing this. I'm just more pessimistic than a lot of people out there, and I guess a lot of Black content creators who cover politics in general, we're probably the most pessimistic of all of them. So always just keep that in the four part of your mind when you know our critiques.
Marcus, I wouldn't even say it's not a matter of pessimistic. We're two Black guys who do this show who are just not like, well, low key, you got to still support and vote for Democrats because, I mean, the Republicans are just so racist.
Well, in their defense, they don't say
No,
that.
I'm not doing that shit. They all fucking racist. In fact, the Democrats are more insulting than the Republicans. Just if we're just talking like as far as like eat one wing of the bird, right? Because it's the same thing. But I just see a lot of them still hoping out. Is W's gynecologist still practicing their love on him? Ugh. I don't even want to think about that. Saying what Variant said, put that comment up. Correct. Yep, that's a fact. But you know, we're just not into the Democratic Party. You and I both.
Well, we're not the Democratic Party. Not in any of these parties.
No, we're looking at it.
We're not gonna go into. We'll end up having to pull it up and go into it tonight if you keep going. I'll be like, all right, fuck it. Then we're breaking it down now because it's only 30 minutes long. It's not like some of these longer ones. Like when there's no way you'll ever see me break down, you know, the one which Vouch had with Frank. Well, that's my boy, but they went for like 2.5 hours. No way I'm doing all that. But that's right.
Yeah, supposedly somebody from to Yipper and Kelly's comments. Supposedly somebody from ISIS was captured. They were plotting to kill President Bush. I'm like,
when?
Why? This is just recently.
And I think that's bullshit.
All right, there we go. Now we're talking.
I think that's that. Man, they just trying to make that dude seem fucking relevant.
That's it.
And I don't
know. And keep in mind that's another reason why I got so much smoke for that Michelle chick from out of Chicago. Because, you know, she sits there and trades candy with this guy, and all of a sudden this dude is okay now. Because, you know, Miss Michelle Obama decided to sit next to him and smile and, you know, again, share candy. Now he's okay. You know, them Obamas are pieces of shit, too. I can't stand them either. Fuck them. Play this Carlin clip. This Henny got me on fire.
I know. I'm about to get you fired up. I mean, I got. You want to let off, and actually, we're gonna save it for next week. Then you get to let off, because I know. For those who know, I'll mention it. I'll give all the updates out a little bit later on. You guys just have to hang out.
Yeah, I'm just a little backed up, and I got to get this out, but not backed up like that. Pause.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can hit Amazon Prime and send you some X-Lax right now. I mean,
here we go. It's the new national pastime. Fuck baseball. It's consumption. The only true lasting American value that's left, buying things. Buying things. People spending money they don't have on things they don't need. Money they don't have on things they don't need. So they can max out their credit cards and spend the rest of their lives paying 18% interest on something that costs $12.50. And they didn't like it when they got it home anyway. Not too bright, folks. Not too fucking bright. But if you talk to one of them about this, if you isolate one of them, you sit them down rationally, you talk to them about the low IQs and the dumb behavior and the bad decisions.
I like how he breaks into the fact that Americans are not that bright. I just want you guys to keep that in your head. Americans are not that bright. And he says, now if you break one apart and you can kind of start talking to them, which, yeah. Keep it overall theme, Americans not that bright. But let's continue.
Decisions. Right away, they start talking about education. That's the big answer to everything. Education. They said we need more money for education. We need more books, more teachers, more classrooms, more schools. We need more testing for the kids. You say to them, well, you know, we've tried all of that, and the kids still can't pass the test. So, don't you worry about that. We're going to lower the passing grades. And that's what they do in a lot of these schools now. They lower the passing grades so more kids can pass. More kids pass. The school looks good. Everybody's happy. The IQ of the country slips another 2 or 3 points. And pretty soon, all you'll need to get into college is a fucking pencil. Got a pencil? Get the fuck in there. It's physics. Then everyone wonders why 17 other countries graduate more scientists than we do. Education. Politicians know that word. They use it on you. Politicians have traditionally hidden behind 3 things: the flag, the Bible, and children. No child left behind. No child left behind. Oh, really? Well, it wasn't long ago you were talking about giving kids a head start. Head start, left behind. Someone's losing fucking ground here. But there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about
the owners of this country don't want that. I'm saying this for all these other channels out here, especially in this time while we're ramping up towards primaries. The owners don't want that. And you guys know what we talk about here on this channel all the time. Look back through our old videos. But go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just echoing what you did.
I don't think you have to keep muting like you used to. I think it might erase that echo issue you used to have.
Oh, okay. That's why I just make sure. I just didn't want to.
No, I think you're good. I think you're good now without the X. Let's get back into that.
real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't.
You don't. Freedom of choice. You don't. So I don't hear PPP party, MPP, social comment. You don't. So if you're parroting George Carlin and you're talking about some kind of third party this, a third party that, or no, the problem is that you want to go that if you would have went and you would have not ran as a Democrat, let's continue.
You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets, and they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table to figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big.
Now, this part, a lot of people don't, they stop right there. They don't continue. Even though he's already said enough, he's laid it out. They stop right here at big old club, and you ain't in it. But let's listen to what he says afterwards.
Club. By the way, it's the same big club they use to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged, and nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hardworking people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hardworking people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all, at all, at all. Yeah. You know? And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on. The fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to go back into it, and we're going to break that down piece by piece. But yeah, your thoughts on hearing that after you've heard it, hadn't heard it in a while. What's your thoughts?
No, I'm with, look, my pops used to watch George Carlin all the time. Like, this is, we've been through this. So I've heard this. I hear this all the time, actually. I just think there's people who just clearly don't get it. Just one look at Facebook and Twitter and Instagram shows you that they don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, you still, reality says no grease. That's the reason why I'm like, I hear people come out and they're like, these are, and I'm, with all due respect to my colleagues out there, this is not personal. I'm not going at anybody. I'm just saying, this man right here tells you what's going on. Now, what you'll say is, well, then what we need to do is go independent. We need to do another party. We need to do a green party. We need to. They're not going to let any of your fucking parties in. Get that through your thick skulls. None of your fucking parties have a chance. I keep hearing people talk about, well, why don't we start the PPP? What do we do with this? And yeah, Ed, I'm talking to you out there. A lot of these people out here, none of your dumbass parties have a fucking chance. Period. They don't have a fucking chance. And then we're going to go out here and be like, I got all these demands. They don't give a shit about your fucking demands. You guys are talking like you have power. You have none. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Niente. I don't know how many other words to say it in. You don't have any fucking power. So let's stop talking like white privilege, kids in the suburbs who think that they have an option. You don't. If Mike Tyson walked in here and slapped me in the face, I don't really have much choice on what the hell's about to happen there. I don't. It's like
there's a disconnect.
I hear Americans and y'all talk like that. Y'all have some options. You don't have any goddamn fucking options. Get this through your thick skulls.
And it's not about being negative, right? It's just
common sense. These people literally have trillions of fucking dollars. Like he just said, they already own the judges. They own the politicians. They own the courthouse.
Media.
They own the media corporations. They own the newspapers. What the fuck? What do you think you can do? Mm-hmm. I'm tired of hearing people, well, I got this candidate for whatever. Oh, well, I'm going to get in there. They're like, well, the problem is you ran as a Democrat. That doesn't fucking matter. Even if you do, run as a Democrat, it don't matter. Run as a Republican, it doesn't matter. Run as a Libertarian, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. They're never going to let you take control of their system. Why is that so hard for y'all to comprehend? And then people are like, oh, I'm tired of these leftists out here sounding nihilists. For one, I'm no longer even a leftist, really. I'm apolitical. I don't give a fuck because I know better. I know there is no chance. And now I know what it is a lot of you guys, it's just too hard for you to comprehend that you can't do anything about it.
They hoping against hope.
My question for you. Let me think of a good example. If Mary Kate, I'm talking about from the twins, Mary Kate Olsen, was out in the wilderness and Shaquille O'Neal decide he's tapping that ass, is Mary Kate gonna have a way to stop him? No, that is you guys in this situation and circumstance. You don't have any power. And here's the thing, and I hear people be like, "Yeah, I mean, if we rise up and do these, if we do these militias, okay." So wait a minute, you gotta communicate on what? Through social media, through phones, which they already have access to all of that shit. So before you can even start organizing any fucking thing, they're gonna know what the fuck you're already organizing. Right. Two, have you guys not seen the robot dogs that they can bring out and shoot at you guys? Have you? My old video, which I showed, that was just part of the shit that they can bring out to put down any of your insurrections. Not to mention drones, and I'm not only talking about drones with missiles on them. I'm talking about drones with 50 cows on them that will just mow you motherfuckers down like grass. So I'm tired of hearing this, And I'm gonna say it again. This white privilege mentality of thinking you have choices. You don't. Get it in your thick skulls. Sorry to get so animated, but I hear other channels out there talking like they can do some shit. There ain't a motherfucking thing you can do. We're not crazy. We're not nihilists. We can just see the damn system. Here's my thing. If Gaddafi in Libya couldn't push back against the United States, what makes you think you can? We got whole nation states which get ran the fuck over by the U.S. And you guys think that y'all can do something against that? I mean, and I sit there and it's like, I'll hear people talk about some of these other people come out with all these plans and these solutions and all this stuff like that, or get mad at people because they're not coming up with their solutions. You don't have any fucking solutions, because if you did, something would have fucking changed. You don't. All you have is pie in the sky theories that are not going to amount to jack shit. I don't get why this is so complicated for people to understand. I mean, I remember talking to somebody not that long ago, and he actually believed that slavery was overthrown. No. The Industrial Revolution came about, and they didn't need to have 100 people out in the fucking field anymore. I'm sorry, I'm gonna calm down. Says, yeah, Marcus, I get pissed off when I hear all them talking about solutions, because all they do is talk about the politicians. And I get we gotta expose the fraudulent system. The thing which they're not understanding is the system was built corrupt. You can't go in and change the system. I don't care if you get whatever of these parties built up and you think you're going to go in there. Who's going to be the Speaker of the House? You really think they're going to let one of y'all ragtag? And then I heard somebody say, well, the problem is, you know, you guys are voting for these rich Democrats. Well, if you're not wealthy, you're not getting elected. How do you get elected when nobody knows who the fuck you are? How do you get your message out? Majority of getting elected is name fucking ID. And you get name ID from having money to put your name out there. Now, I don't know if maybe people haven't pushed back yet much on some of this thinking, but it's about time people start waking the fuck up. You can't sit up there and spend all your time bitching at the TYTs for all the dumb shit they're saying when you guys are feeding people false hope. Now, maybe you guys haven't thought about it, that it's false hope. But if you start process by process by process, thinking about how you're going to make this come about, then you will see how delusional some of this shit is. I remember not that long ago when I sat on Franco's show and we talked about possibility of a utopian society. What? In order for you to have a utopian society and all this shit like that, the elites, people like the IMF, are going to have to say, you know what? I'm just going to dick off trillions of dollars and give them to you guys. You guys really think that's going to happen? You guys really think the Federal Reserve, people who own the Federal Reserve and BlackRock and Vanguard, all these people are going to give up their power for you?
Those are good companies, Marcus. Stop.
I'm trying to get where the cognitive dissonance is.
Those are really good. Those are really good companies who do well for humanity. Come on, stop taking shots at them.
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna comment down. I mean, oh man, let's read some of these comments because I went on a little tangent there. I mean, I bite my tongue so much because I'm not trying to go at anybody. I've had some people say that some of these people out there, they're just grifting for cash. Some of this. I honestly think that a lot of people haven't really thought this shit through. They haven't. They say shit and it sounds good, but you don't do the full thought exercise of taking it all the way through. I can sit there, me and Chris can decide, you know what? we're gonna challenge LeBron and KD to a 2-on-2. And in our head, we could see how we could tell ourselves we're gonna win. But let's remember, this is LeBron and KD. We're not gonna fucking win. And neither you guys are either. It's like saying, you know what? If we just gave all the Native American tribes guns and weapons, they could defeat the government and take everything back over. It's the same thing. Most of you guys can see that Ukraine, even with the backing from the US, getting weapons from all the Western powers, can't fucking beat Russia. We have far less of a shot. But you guys, for some reason, there's this disconnect. Oh, the owners. You guys know that there's owners. You guys know it's a big old club you're not in. But you still advocate for shit that's not going anywhere.
Correct.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get a little fired up. Didn't mean to. I think I saw Noli hop in here. Says, sorry, I'm late, working shit. Glad to have you here, Noli. And thank you so much for all those people that the list and everything you got. I'm just trying to get through a couple of these interviews and things I have lined up, and then I'll start calling some of these other people and getting them in there. But thank you so much. Shout out to Noli D.
Look, it's even like my company, right? We have a 401k, right? You look into a 401k, you look at all the investments you can make. Literally the first, 100 options on the list are all BlackRock and Vanguard. Literally.
The thing is, you guys don't even know who the owners are, and most of you guys don't even try to figure out who the real fucking owners are to even do anything against them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Ali's good comment here. It says, I usually am met with, what's your solution then? Bitch, I don't have one. Exactly. Here's my thing. Here's my thing. When they were packing up them slave ships, did the slaves have a fucking option? No, they didn't. Start understanding where you are and what you are in the society. You're at the bottom rungs. You are the fucking peasants. We're all peasants. And the only difference between now and back then is they have even more technology, more weaponry, more ways to put us down. And they have been planning more ways to put us down if we ever decide to step our heads up.
You know, all of this stuff that's happening, you know, from the shootings to even here with DeSantis supposedly going after the gay. Yeah, I saw that.
Yipper. Oh,
But
wow.
it just seems as if all of this stuff is like culture war shit, and it's designed to get people to vote for Democrats. Sad to say, they're some of the worst ones are thinking black and brown people. Yes, Misha.
Well, I'll give part of it because a lot of our people are now become atheists. So if you're atheist, the only way that you can have a fighting chance is you got to depend on this system.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you got.
Correct. But it's gonna look. We just had a shooting. Oh my God! Something needs to be done about guns. My voting is coming up. Democrat. Oh look, they're being mean to the LGBTQRS ABCD crowd. Oh my God! Vote Democrat. Again, all this shit is like designed to like keep you on that bird. Just step away from the bird.
In fact,
there's no solution, right?
I do. If we're gonna think in secular means a solution, you want to know what the solution is? Letting this country fall apart. That's the solution, and then trying to build it up from the ashes. The only thing that you could possibly do is when they want your vote, don't. You know why? Because when you vote, you legitimize this system. the fact that you have hundreds of millions of people who are still going out there and voting gives this system some kind of credibility. The moment you stop doing that, because the elites are they're that shallow. They need for it to look like we're still buying onto the shit. It's kind of like this. When you're beating the hell out of somebody in the game, it's fun when they keep trying. When they're like, I don't care anymore, you're just going to beat the shit out of me. That takes all the fun out of the damn game. That really takes all. Here, go ahead, take the ball, go ahead and shoot another three. Oh, woo. That takes all the fucking fun out of it. It really does for them. And once you start doing that, once we start literally saying, you know what, I'm just going to save my money. Fuck that. I'm not going to keep on spending. I'm not going to keep on buying this. Let the system start to tank on its fucking own. You guys want to keep buying houses and doing all this stuff and living like everything is fucking perfectly normal. You prop the system up and you make it seem like what's going on is normal and acceptable. You got to pull yourself out of the system as much as possible. Sign says boycotting is our only tool, and monopolization, dual trio is ruining that. Stop using Amazon, Walmart, slave-made goods. There are reasons Apple had nets installed to stop worker suicides at work. Exactly. Here's what they're going to try to do. At this point now, because they're already starting to do it. I talked to Carl last week. For those who missed that, make sure to check that out. I had my second conversation with him. What they're doing is they're moving to machines. They're not going to need you. But you know what they do need, which George Carlin brought up at the first part of this? Consumers. That's all. That's the only thing they need you for, is to consume. Mm-hmm. It's getting to the point where we were talking about this in on the Rothman side. The homeless rate is going up everywhere because they don't need you. I don't think people are starting to get that. Okay, making sure my mic was still going on. Let's see. Amazon was down the other night. Website app was funny. I wonder how much they lost. Haven't heard why. This is the only thing that truly matters. This is why everything is slowed down. The only reason why they're still playing around a little bit with these unions and the Chris Smalls and shit like that is because they still haven't worked out all the 5G stuff. They don't have it all the way online. And I think what's going to eventually come is a version of that's going to be like 6G. When that shit comes online and they can literally not have, the signals dropping, and they can have these trucks driving all the way across the country all night long, they're not going to need you at all. And that's not going to just be truckers. That's not just going to be grocery stores, or it's just not going to be fast food. It's going to be warehouses. It's going to be doctors. It's going to be lawyers. It's going to be across the whole entire plane. Jimmy talks about shit like this. When they finally figure out to get the systems and everything straight, they're not going to need you because they already have the fucking robots for it. They literally already have the robots to do all this shit. It's just a matter of getting the signals and all work out so they won't keep breaking down. Once they get all those kinks worked out, they don't need your asses no more. Black, brown, white, whatever. They don't need none of our asses.
Not for much. And as we progress, they'll need humans even less and less. What does it say? Tell me I need a third party one more time. You need a third party.
Oh, they said, well, actually, we need third and a fourth party.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Misha. Yeah, I did unleash the rage just a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, it's frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
They're training us to phase ourselves out. Walmart isn't short of staff. They choose not to have enough cashiers. Please check yourself out. Now scan and pay with your phones because those lines are long as fuck. Do you know that the Amazon stores, the actual stores that you guys can walk into,
mm-hmm.
They virtually don't have employees. When you put your stuff in the basket, it automatically starts ringing you up. All you do is walk back out of the store, and it charges it to your account.
Nice.
No employees needed.
Just only the ones to stock it up if they even need
Nope,
that.
they don't even need employees to stock it up. The only employees that they have are make sure to keep the machines operational and make sure to watch people putting stuff in their basket to make sure they're putting it in there and not just carrying it. But even that, they automatically snap a picture of you if you want to steal it. And then as soon as you get to the door, somebody from security is meeting you there saying, hey, last time you were in here, you stole this, you're banned from the store. That's what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
You and your little off-grid community, like, what? Yeah, I mean, that's, if you're only a secular-minded person, you need to be figuring out which close to third world country should I move to have some autonomy until it gets passed all the way around the world. Could Elon be hacking Amazon? LOL, read Amazon shut down. Actually, we're going to be talking about Elon Musk tomorrow. For my interview, I have Dr. Guguletu Hughes on again, and we'll be talking tomorrow morning. Let's see, what is that? 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, and 10:30 Central, and then that'll be 5 p.m. His time, South African time. And then, of course, make the recording, for whichever time zones you're in, which I did not cover. Carlin, clarifying politics, it has been the same now as then, as decades ago. The sham elections put people against each other to not notice things that don't change. See, the only thing that's happened is each decade, their power and control has increased. Now, you had probably in maybe about the 60s to 70s, they had the Senate. They had most of the House. By the time the 80s came around, they had the whole Senate, they had the House, they had the governors, and they even had a good chunk of mayors. By the time the 90s came around, they were down to the point where they had all your mayors too. By the time the early 2000s came around, they had all your city councils. They had your aldermen. They had all these people. And you might have one or two that are, very insignificant type positions, and they go in and they've taken over these little areas. That's about it. You can get a little wiggle room. That's the reason why people will make so much fluff over Kashama Shawant. And you got to see what happened with that. They dumped $1 million into her city council race. They're not playing around. They've already game planned this shit all the way down to the bottom. Baba, let's see which. Barbara says, yeah, Marcus, I get pissed off when I hear all them talking about solutions because all they do is talk about the politicians. And I think I might have read this, but yeah, they don't. Our elections are rigged, but also vote third party. Exactly. I mean, you realize the Democrats and Republicans control the elections. And so they're going to let you have a fair election to get your third party in. Come on. What are we doing here, people? What are we fucking doing here? Let's start acting like we can put 2 + 2 together. Yes, you could throw in your third leg jokes. Go on ahead. All hope is false hope. Exactly, Noli. Exactly. Define corrupt. I think I'm almost caught up to everybody. AI replacing humorous workers. I guess Yang was right after all. Yes, because you know where Yang's expertise is? In Silicon Valley with the fuckers who are working on the connections to get these damn machines up and running. What do you think Elon Musk is about? What do you think this whole metaverse shit is about? Did you guys not see the movie Gamer 1? You remember that?
Ready Player One.
What do you think that's about? What do you think shit like Wall-E is about? It's about getting us prepared for our future. But everybody thinks, we can still fight. That's the reason why Chris all the time says, take care of you and yours.
Thank you, Marcus. That's exactly why I say it. Because
he knows.
There's nothing you could do. Even just let's look at it from like a policy level, right? Look how much drugs have affected the Black community. the black community is supposed to be reliant politically upon the Democratic Party, right? That's who they've been voting for at least my entire life, right? What has the Democratic Party done related to drugs and or mass incarceration and or police involvement with the community as it relates to drugs? They've done absolutely nothing but watch people get shot and sent to prison for long periods of time. What is it you expect them to do any different in the year 2022? I'm just asking, like, what do you really think they're going to do to help you? Absolutely nothing. So your continued paying attention to, wishing, hoping that this other side of the bird is going to be any different. No, it's not. Some of these people are really.
Well, let's go back a couple of years. When the squad first started going in, people thought that was going to change something, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was going to happen? All they're turning into is a young version of the Democrats.
And they're just rubber stamping everything that the Crypt Keeper does. The Crypt Keeper being Nancy Pelosi.
And then when the Crypt Keeper is out, would people think like, okay, let's say you guys are in the mindset of thinking, Shahid Buttar is going to get in. Say he does take it. That doesn't mean he's going to automatically become Speaker of the House. More than likely, what's going to happen is it's going to fall to another piece of crap in there. I wouldn't be surprised if freaking trying to think of who's in the House that somebody like Chris Murphy's a senator. Trying to think who's in the I can't think of House members right now. My apologies. I've not been focused on them for a while. But you're just gonna get another one in there. Or what if they elect what's her name? AOC. What the hell you think she's gonna do something different? You're out of your fucking minds if you think she's gonna do anything different. and I'm gonna read that one. Here goes, says third party doesn't hurt though. It's a protest vote, not about winning. It does hurt. You wanna know why it hurts? Because it gives you false hope. It also gives the system legitimacy. It makes it seem like that there's something you can do. They know the protest vote is to not vote. Be like, I'm not wasting my time with you guys because I already know all of this shit is a waste of fucking time. George Carlin tells you that in there. He literally tells you, because people flip it around. This is paraphrasing George Carlin. He says, everybody talks about how, if you don't vote, you can't complain. He's like, no, the shit is flipped around and backwards. He's like, if you don't vote, you're the only one that can complain because you didn't have no part in that fucked up system. All you guys who voted had a hand in the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You guys had a hand in helping this bullshit.
And validate you
validate the system. You're validating the system. Come on. And that's all they need. It doesn't matter if it's real validation. They just need a glimmer. They need that fig leaf to hide behind to make it look like our systems, like our elections are legit. Because you know what? If they start looking illegitimate, other countries start calling us out.
Mm-hmm.
And then that starts, and then that starts adding to the dynamic that you have Russia and China on one side, North Korea, Iran, a bunch of other countries lined up on one side. And then if it ever gets to a point where Saudi Arabia completely is like, nah, I'm good, US. I don't need y'all no more. And let's say they clicked up with China or Russia and the petrodollar's over, United States will completely crumble. And they don't even have to do it without firing a shot. This country will down itself. Then at that point, they will have to start doing business or dealing. Yeah, and also think about it. You guys know who owns most of the U.S.'s debt?
It got to be those guys in Beijing, maybe. Who knows?
It just might be. It just might be. I mean, I want to see you guys answer out there. Oh shit! What the hell did I do? Cancel that. No, don't do that. I want to see some answers. Let's skip down. But guys, you don't understand this. Where'd that go? I voted before too. It happens. Hello, I got a sticker and
I
everything.
think it's the one right above that.
The one right above that. Oh my goodness, my dude. But guys, you don't understand. This is the most important elections of our lives, our democracy on the line. See, this is what they do. I talk to people all the time, and they're like, "But I just can't. It can't be that motherfucker Trump. Fuck that motherfucker."
Oh
Trump.
God.
As long so, you want to have this geriatric who's literally running us up to World War III? That's better. Possibly nuclear annihilation than worrying about more racist people showing that they're already racist. That doesn't even make sense to me.
Mm-mm.
And the thing
it's
about
like when it's like Jesse Jackson regarding Chicago a couple years ago, right? With all the shootings. Oh, we need to bring in the National Guard.
Yeah, bring him on in there. Bring him on. Because this is what's gonna happen. When y'all want to go to revolutions, do y'all remember how, what was it, Michael Brown, St. Louis, how they came out with tanks and cannons and all that shit like that?
Mm-hmm.
Just because too many black people showed up out in the streets?
Mm-hmm.
Start fighting and see what the hell's gonna happen. Y'all think that they scared to mow you down? Do y'all really believe that?
They would actually prefer it if we got a little wild and reckless and started going at them.
Y'all think they scared?
No.
Man, hold on. I need to bring. I need to bring up my old video. Just show you some of the shit that's already out there.
House of the Green Dragons on my deck. You don't get it. You're being selfish. We have to keep out or we'll never have. Yeah, I know. I hear that shit all the time, Shadow. Oh my God, anybody's good except for Trump. You know, our country, what they say to me the other day? I just had to shake my head. What do they call it? Our respect. They won't respect us if we put Trump. I'm just like, all right. Let me get
They
this.
already
Bustelo.
don't respect us.
Yeah, let me get this Bustelo and keep it pushing because I can't listen.
I'm gonna bring this up. I could probably just hop right in the middle of it right here. Let's see. Actually, no, I think I know which part I want to bring up. And keep in mind, this video that I made, I only highlighted mostly non-lethal solutions that they already have. I'm gonna skip through this.
Yes, Shadow. They really do. Oh, let's see. Okay.
No, you can keep going.
No, I was just responding to Shadow's comment. He said, "I live in Santi Cuckland."
Oh yeah, let's peep this bad boy out.
Yeah. Then he said, "Allie's governor needs stem cells and adrenochrome."
And a better barber. Yeah, let's keep in mind, this is out here for y'all too. They got, and you think this is just one random ass Russian guy who made some shit like this. What do you think our government does and can do with billions of dollars?
No, I don't think I recognize any of those guys. Let's take them out. That was awesome. Look at the guy's head rolling down the hill. Let's try something else. So we've seen what Charlene is capable of.
Oh shit! Hold on, I had to stop it real quick. We got a special guest up in the building.
All right,
got some of my family. What's up, Darius? What's up, guys? Hey, make sure to get at me. I need to call you up and talk to you. I ain't talked to family in a little bit. It's always good to see some family in the chat. And this ain't like, oh, play cousins. No, this is like family. We grew up together at grandma's house every summer together, playing football out in the street on the concrete. Yes. So, man, good to see you. Hope the little ones are doing all right. Give them a hug for me. But Science has to get out of here. Good to see you.
Science, peace out, man.
Yeah, I mean, y'all. I mean, it's like I hear people like, "Oh, you don't think y'all want this?" I'm like, in fact, let me back this video up. Remember, I was telling y'all that I work weapons. I'm gonna show you because at the beginning of this video is one of the guns that I used to be a tech and operator on. Popping off at the beginning. Oh, where it is. And about right here.
That's what you're gonna put your little AR up against, right?
Yeah. Now that's the 240. That's the 240. Wait till this 50 cal pop off. And then the last one is the gun that I was a tech and operator on. And let me see what you can do with your little AR-15. If your AR-15 can fuck with this.
Or the AK.
Here we go. We're about to see in a minute. Now, hold on. Now, you see this? You see the size?
Do you see the size of that shit? I mean, I know they say size, size don't matter. It's the motion in the ocean. No, fuck that. Size matters in this case.
Do y'all know that when we did drug ops, I've literally sunken small ships with that gun right there? Do y'all really think y'all can do something with this kind of shit? Hold on, I got another one. Forget my video. Let me pull up something. I don't even think y'all really know about this. I don't even think y'all know about this. I'm gonna pull up something for you.
My little body armor, my AR, my AK.
Yeah. Okay. For real. I'm gonna put this video up real quick. Let y'all see how this do.
Mike, I wouldn't
see Mike in a minute. What's up, Mike?
Yeah, Mike, what's good? I wouldn't say it was a defeatist rant per se. It's just letting you know that the answer or solution is to not run towards the Democrats or Republicans or any of these people running for office. That's all it is. Really.
It's not about being defeatist. It's understanding the system. It's understanding what you're actually facing and not being delusional and just trying to wish your way out of it. I'm done with those wishing your way out of stuff and not being realistic.
Voting your way or donating your way.
Yeah, get a load of this right here. Armed revolution is what y'all okay.
Look at that shit.
Yeah, he's loading it right now.
Nah. They just erased you from life. Like they didn't put holes in you. They just erased you.
That gun is called a Navy Sea Whiz.
Yeah, nah.
It's an anti-aircraft gun, which
There's
can
no
be mounted on a different vehicle to be used at you. It's actually on certain buildings too, by the way.
No, they won't even go. You won't even have any dental fragments left for them to ID you.
It shoots. Now you guys saw how big those rounds were, right? It shoots 2,000 rounds per minute. 2,000 is and they can switch it up and use incendiary or armor piercing, so that it takes down tanks. And this is all, I ain't even showed y'all even close to all the shit that they still got.
And that's just the military. And, you know, it's crazy that the cops are able to buy some of that equipment. Not that they're buying those 50 caliber weapons, but you know, they're still able to purchase those some of that equipment to be used on a local level. Like shit is just wild, man. Yeah, so there's no the armed revolution thing. No, that's fantasy. We're not. It's not a level playing field. That's why I always say just try to take.
It's never going to be. You really think that they're going to let you come in here and change their government?
So that you can divert the funds that go towards the military machine, the pharmaceutical machine, etc., so that you can divert it to your community, so you can build parks, schools, you know, playgrounds, you shit like that. They're never going to allow you to do that. You can't vote your way to that.
Baba's funny. Says, I'm a patriot and Trump is going to join me in tyranny. All those GI Joes dress up guys. Haha. I mean, what you guys don't realize is the National Guard is going to follow orders of whatever the president says. The police are going to team up also. Now, I know people think, oh, well, just the police. No, you got all the different law enforcements and the National Guards. And if it got bad enough, they will bring troops who are active duty, who are out in the field, back to deal with any said insurrections. This ain't the 1820s or something like that anymore. The firepower has gotten more and more sophisticated. And people talk about, oh, Mike, if you think this is defeatist, tell me, please explain, how do you get any of the bills into power? How do you get anything put through at all? How do you even get anybody elected that you want? How do you, because here's the one thing, you can't just have one congressperson or one senator. You got to have the numbers to have enough of a majority to be able to take power, to sit on committees. If you're not sitting on committees, you're not submitting bills. If you're not submitting bills, you have no possibility of even getting them passed in the House. They can't get passed in the House. They can't even go to the Senate. And then that's a whole nother battle you got to face. It's about understanding the reality of the situation. I'm not saying go and love it and just be like, oh, be happy about it. Just telling you what it is.
That's why I always say, take care of you and yours. That's all you can do. Just try to separate yourself from the system as much as you can. Trying to fight it. I mean, you can voice your dissent. You can let them know how much you don't approve, etc., etc. I just see somebody just mentioned Julian Assange in the chat. I mean, just look what they did to him. He showed some videos that somebody in the United States government gave him, and in the military gave him, and they locked him up. He's been locked up for years, and he ain't never coming home. I don't care how much you make him a focal point. You say his name, he ain't coming home. Mumia Abu Jamal has been in jail my whole life. He ain't coming home.
Because what it is, Darius, what it is a lot of these people, they just can't fathom the fact of, oh damn, we've already lost. It ain't nothing you can do. In the hood, have we ever felt like it was anything we can do? No. We've never felt like we could stop the police from doing whatever the hell they wanted to do whenever they wanted to do. We never felt like, you know what? If only we get Mr. Smith in the city council, he's going to clean up our neighborhoods. No, we've never thought, you know what? If only this happens, man, they're going to get the drugs out of our community and everything's going to go back to the way. No. This is not set up for it to get better. I mean, if like I look at it like this. I've watched from the 80s, it get worse to the 90s. From the 90s, it get worse to 2000. From the early 2000s, get worse to 2010. From 2010, get worse into 2020. What makes any of you guys think that you can be the generation that's going to turn it around? When we literally have less, this generation literally owns less, has less power than all the generations before. So while they're literally getting, like, I mean, I don't think people keep in mind that
Marcus,
like the wealth gap.
Marcus, let me make this point for the Assange folks too, right?
Yeah.
Someone, I think Dominator just said, locked up for telling the truth, not for lying, referring to Julian Assange, right? The government wasn't even, they're not even remotely fearful at the response from the people as it relates to Julian Assange. They're calling him a traitor as if he is American, as if he betrayed the country of his birth, or, you know what I'm saying? Dude he's what, Swedish, or I don't know where he's.
I think he's what, Australian or New Zealand.
One of the two. Yeah, well, I don't know where he calls home right now. But at the end of the day, he's all going. Like, there's nothing you can do. You can raise all the money you want. You can say his name 3-5 times in the mirror like Candyman. He's not going to appear.
Yeah, I just look at it like this. I mean, the only thing you can do, like Chris says all the time, this is what he says all the time, you can only take care of you and yours. You can only take care of your family, take care of your health, take care of your mental capacity. And if you're a person of faith, now is the time more than anything to be digging the fuck in. Now, for me, I'm a man of faith.
Yes, Shadow. Wait, hold on. Shadow says something I say all the time. Comedy is the other side of the coin of tragedy.
That's why we laugh at this shit.
One man's comedy is another man's tragedy, and vice versa. You know.
I remember that one. You remember that one comedian, Def Comedy Jam, where he used to talk about tragedy all the time.
I think so. Damn.
I gotta find that one because that dude he was jacked up.
I mean, because look at it. If I stub my toe on the corner of the bed or something like that, you guys would look at it and laugh. Me, I'm sitting there, God damn, I want to kill something. So again, comedy is tragedy and tragedy is comedy.
Like, I remember
what side of the coin you want.
Do you remember what was that Kevin Hart show he used to have, and Real Husbands of Hollywood?
Oh yeah, I've seen that a couple times. That's one of the few things that are a little bit funny.
JB Smooth came up with this prank show. It was called Tricked. And the problem, the thing about Tricked was, you know how like in these prank shows, they'll like bring your car back out at the end, like, ha ha ha, we was just fucking with you. He's not fucking with you, he really fucked up your car. So he run your car through like the car wash, like convertible, and leave the top down. and then you open up the door, water come pouring out, and he hand you the keys back, and you be like, oh man, bro, you got me. That was good. That was good. Okay, bring my car back. Bring my car around. No, this is your car.
Yeah, this is your car.
and then he be like, pause. He put a mouthpiece in because he know about to get punched.
So he's ready for it.
Yeah, that's like.
That Mike Tyson video you sent me, that was funny too. I was laughing too.
Oh, Tony Baker.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess oh man, this show went by. We put in a good 3:15 already. Yep. I mean, we're just honest about what we see going on now. Hey, y'all got some other shit to show me, then I'd be happy to be wrong. I just don't think I am. And like I tell you guys all the time, and those who watch my other channel, Hebrew Apologetics, you guys know when I break down this stuff, the shit that we see is prophecy. It's already been told that this shit was going to happen over 2,000 years ago. I don't know how else to put it. Y'all can be atheists out there all you want. I don't do you. Whatever works for you. But if I'm reading something, I'm seeing it say all this shit is gonna happen, and I'm watching it all play out, then I'd be the idiot to think that, if there's not some smoke where, there's not some fire to the smoke I'm seeing here.
Mm-hmm. And Mike and Thomas in the comments, like what Shadow just said, correct. That's what I'm saying. Take care of yourself. You can't save everybody too. So take care of yourself and those who
right there.
Yeah,
it's in the script. That's why they called scriptures.
But
yeah,
that's it.
Y'all don't want to hear it. Y'all don't want to hear this though. Sometimes it gets too real for people. But I mean,
at the same time, we are alive. We are covering. We are covering this stuff as it happens. So we do have opinions on it. But at the end of the day,
Angelica, you need to check out my other channel. In fact, for those who don't know it, I'm gonna refer you guys to it one more time. I'm gonna just bring it up. I'm not gonna show any video. I'm just gonna show y'all to it so y'all can find it.
Shadow won't leave me alone with the whole references.
No, he's still going after you with that. Y'all still got that Jay-Z Nas beef going on. Oh yeah, and especially since we got Ali in the room, I want to put this up here. Share screen. This is my other page, Hebrew Apologetics with Marcus and Fuzz.
Everybody in the chat who came through, we appreciate it. I just wanted to get that out before.
Yes, definitely.
We sign off. Thank you.
We're about to start off. We got the 1, 2, 3 biblical prophecies. Israel on the doom and gloom headquarters, and make sure you go over and go check them out. Ali just did an excellent video the other day. Ooh, excuse me. She did an excellent video about with these vacant houses in Chicago and a woman which was chained up inside of there, and the stuff that they know is going on in these houses. And so I definitely need to check this out. This goes into, organ harvesting, possibility of organ harvesting, sex trafficking, all this stuff that people know is going on, but nobody wants to talk about it. But that's what we're here for. Talk about all the kind of stuff that nobody else does. Dominator 72 says, great show, guys. Keep keeping on. Oh, we definitely gonna do that.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. And
try not to be like, the rest of everybody else out there.
Yeah, we're not gonna be like, oh, did you guys hear TYT and Anna was beefing with this? And we're not gonna do what all these other channels are doing. We're gonna cover what we believe is relevant to talk about. I wanted to bring up the Carlin thing because I hear everybody out there talking about it's a big old club and you ain't in it, but don't understand. Carlin is saying part of that club is the fact that they own this. They're owners. They're not renters. and not sharing this shit with you, they own this.
Mm-hmm.
They organize all this shit. They make the moves happen.
Shadow stupid.
I'm surprised Kelly didn't get her third leg in there, Joe.
Oh, I know. And you know, that was funny. The whole third leg thing came about because we started talking about COVID and what the possible effects were. That was the beginning of that joke. And that shit just took a life of its own.
Barbara says, yes, great show tonight. More content creators need to be saying shit like this. What people don't realize also is most of these content creators
they angling for something bigger.
I wasn't even gonna say that. I was gonna say, oh, you like that? That's fresh, cuz. Oh, you ought to see some of these other ones I got too.
Oh, this dude's the hack king.
And I don't even bring out all of them, but Ladarius, no, that's the KC thing. Everybody got to have a nice KC fitted. Got to. I need to get me that old school traditional, just the blue and white one. I need to get me one of those. My blue and white one's kind of down for the count.
And that's the other thing in this space too. A lot of people always referencing and talking about Jimmy Dore. Like I don't get it. I don't understand it. I never do. And
well, I want to put this out real quick. The only other person I can think of who are military is Kit. Kit's a former Marine, and I know Nico was Army, and then I'm Navy. The rest of these people, none of them that I know of, had any military experience. So if you don't have military experience, how can you know the capability, what the government can do when they want to? How can you comprehend it? How can you talk about all these militias and all this shit that y'all want to do if all you know is about some hood violence? That's fine when you shooting at 18th Street versus 25th Street.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a whole different battle when you playing with the military.
Yeah, it's trained people. It's not dudes shooting sideways, hopping one way or the other, running backwards. This ain't no rap video. This ain't a movie, dog.
It's the same thing. Like you pull up to the court, you know, playing some ball, playing some 5-on-5, and you play a team full of guys who play ball. Like, so you get a D1 squad versus just a couple of guys who they were really good and they hop on the court together.
No.
That's not, you know, when they like, I'll give you guys a story.
It's going to be date rape on the court.
Yeah. I was like maybe in my 20s. Granted, I had the knee injury, so I wasn't quite where I used to be. But it was a group of us. All of us were like in our 20s. And we were like, man, we about to run over some of these teams. We had this team full of 50-year-olds come out playing flag football. They ate our asses alive.
Mm-hmm.
And we couldn't understand how the hell these old ass dudes whoop our ass. Quarterback from Ohio State. Tight end was from Miami of Ohio. I mean, all of these guys had college experience. Everything they did was organized, crisp. Everybody knew their job. Everybody ran perfect routes. Quarterback was delivering the ball before they even turned their head. When you have organization and skill, it supersedes all the other nonsense any day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're facing with. I mean, I knew guys who didn't even make it into the SEALs, who would shoot more than 40 hours a week. Shadow, can you get that? You know, we've got big enough. We get spammers now, real spammers. Yeah, they know I'm not good with the blocks. I end up blocking the wrong people all the time. So
Shadow,
or variant hop on that.
Yeah.
Angelica, glad you are subscribed. And make sure to check out my my other channel. What we've been thinking with Marcus Cage. On that one, I got an interview tomorrow with part 2 interview with Dr. Guguletu Hughes out of South Africa. So we're gonna talk a whole bunch of different shit that we didn't even get into. Pretty sure I'm gonna have another one coming up with Carl Zah out of Bali. I'm working on Noli's helped me working on Noli's helped me with talking to a couple of I guess independent journalists out of Palestine. And so I'm gonna be setting that up after that. So I'm gonna keep on talking to all these different people, so we can get a better perspective, outside of the US. Here goes. That's just sub to Hebrew. That's 3 shows now. Yeah, that's my 3 shows. I promise you, I'm not gonna create any more shows. Not gonna create any more. It's just the Hebrew apologetics with Marcus and Fuzz. This one and what we've been thinking. And then actually I'll be doing
right,
Hebrew
Thomas?
apologetics tomorrow too. We'll be doing the part 3 of why black men are leaving the black church.
Because it's some bullshit. That's why. I'm gonna just keep it real. We're gonna skip everything else because it's some bullshit.
We're gonna do that one, and I'll have Dr. Guguletu and shit. Oh, Monday. For those who follow Misty Winston, I will be on her radio show on Monday. What is it? Oh shit!
That's the 30th.
I gotta remember the time, but yes, I'll be on her radio show. Not sure the topics yet. That's how I like it, to walk in there and just get to react to whatever. So definitely looking forward to that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But
much
appreciated.
I'm off till Tuesday. I'm off till Wednesday, kid. This is my first time with days off in a minute. But I got days off. I still gotta work. Ironic.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate everybody from coming through. Ali Variant, Here Goes, Noli D, my cousin Ladarius Kinsey, Jack Sith. Let's see who else in here. Angelica, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Ruby Krill. I know Uncle Warren was in here earlier. I know Signs was in here earlier. Appreciate y'all. Kelly, Dominator 72. First time seeing you. Glad to see you here. Mike 97. Glad to see you. Haven't seen you in a minute. Misha, always. Much love to you, brother. Uma, I got to remember to. Actually, I think I might put Chris on it. Chris is going to be Chris' duty to translate Uma.
Oh, yeah. There's no problem.
That way, we'll just always be able to have her comments in there, because I'm doing the double duty with some of these and trying to keep up on the Rockfin. Yeah, I think I mentioned, shout out Baba Yaga. I can't believe I missed her. Thomas, always good. Variant, of course. I think I got Jesse. Yes, good to see you, Jesse. Also, I know Yipper. I forgot Yipper 99. Gotta remember.
Yeah, where my guy Mr. Street been? It's been a minute.
Mr. Street was back last week, and he was
I
like,
thought I saw him in the comments. Yeah.
Where Chris at? And
I thought I saw him in the comment section.
Yeah, he'd been in South America for a minute. Reality Revolution. Got it, much love. Shout out the dick pic bot. Wow. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
So I can and most of the time I did translate Uma's thing. It didn't show up on yours?
Beam worthy. I didn't see it.
Okay.
I would have made sure to put her on the screen because like to show her some love too.
Uma, thanks for coming through. You already know. Everybody.
And anybody that I missed, apologies. I'm going ahead and sign it off now. So much love for all y'all. Thank you so much for being on here. And make sure also to subscribe over there to Indie Rockfin, Indie Left's Rockfin. And if you guys are not following us on Twitter,
shout out to Indie, much appreciated. If there was anything you all didn't like tonight, blame Marcus Cage, aka Marcus Rage. Blame him.
Yeah, I guess I did let out a little rage tonight. I mean, that wasn't the goal, but
and if you didn't like anything I said, blame Marcus too. I'm reading from a script. So
yeah, like somebody would say, TS would say.
I know, right?
Next week we got an interesting one. We got abolish. Was it abolish? I can't remember his name.
Oh, abolish politicians.
Yes, abolish politicians. which ironically his name is Chris also. He'll be on here next week to kind of push back on I guess comments made in the past, or just wants to get out his point of view as far as
he mad at me.
Oh yeah.
He's really mad at me.
As far as gay rights.
If we keep it at 100, he's mad at me.
I mean, I told Abolish, believe it or not, his name is Chris also. I told him my point of view and my perspective. I said, I'll let you speak, but when it really comes down to it, I don't try to push back from we don't vote. We don't tell anybody to vote. So I'm not restricting your rights. Do you? I'm just we handle the topics that we feel need to be talked about. So, that said, this has been the Political Matrix from your host, Young Morpheus, also known as Marcus Cage, also known as Marcus Rage, or Drunk Uncle Marcus, or Drunko Marcus, whatever names y'all come up with. I'll rock with them all. And my boy Cy Lawson here. Hopefully he gets his moving and everything done.
Yeah, I'll be here. I'm gonna have everything set up. I'm gonna have a nice little background like yours, light, all right, and all that. So just give me another week or so.
The crazy part, well, you should have the space, so you'll be able to make sure to rock it nicely.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna hook it up.
The biggest thing is all the lights.
Yeah, correct.
That's the fun part.
That's another thing. Correct.
And if I have more space, y'all don't realize I'm literally operating in like a maybe a 5-foot space. So
it's so good. It works.
It is working until I, move on to something else.
Oh, Marcus, you gotta send your cousin the picture you did, so he could see it.
Oh yeah. You talking about the one we the background?
Yeah.
All right, let me just put it up. Let me put it up. I'll switch my background real quick. Let him check that one out. Let's see. Stop cam real quick.
Oh no, we're not gonna go with Vouch setup, Misha.
And I'm gonna slide myself out of the way when I put it up. Let's see. And yes, start cam again. So yeah,
we're not doing that. We go no Vouch. There's gonna be something like that. Maybe somebody holding a burner or some shit. Violence.
But yeah, I guess that's it.
All right, guys. Everyone have a good one. Enjoy the 3-day weekend. Cook something outside. Grill something, catch a fish, clean it, cook that. I don't know. Just enjoy it.
Hey, Ladarius, if you ever want to hop on, just shoot me a text and let me know. Man, you can come on anytime. Anytime you want to come on. Well, it's an invitation to all my family. All of them can come on. I don't know if y'all can handle. I don't know if y'all can handle my brother though. My brother, he's a lot. He's a lot to deal with.
Yo, Mike. Marcus hooked that picture up. That shit do look fly. Even my brother was like, that shit hard.
Oh yeah, let me check that out. Yeah,
he got me with the good glasses and all that.
And the crazy part is I did that shit at work.
Yeah, he texted to me at work. I was like, "Yo, this shit hard." I was showing my coworkers like, "Yo, look." All right, man. We out of here, guys. Have a good one.
Y'all. Peace. Much love to everybody. Shalom.
Oh, Marcus, let it go because we had 3. If somebody sees it, they're going to accuse.
Oh yeah, gotta let it go to at least 34.
Let it go to like 34.
I don't need Larry Johnson to hop on me.
They gonna come out. You're like, see, those guys, the devil. They had 3. They didn't wait till 3.
Oh yeah. Man.
So
and then if it would have been 3,
yeah, then we definitely would have been.
It would have been like, see, because actually 3 and 3, that's 6, and then 6, and then you times the 3 and make another 6 and divide that the 9, and then you got 666. See, these guys are the devil right here.
Yeah, correct.
And then I always said, man, let him hook up with Tokyo.
Oh man.
That
I'd like to
is-
talk to Larry though, but I'd like to have a conversation first, and then that would be cool. But I doubt.
Man, one conversation with him, he will get our shit shut down.
Yeah, I know. Very, you know it. That's why you laughing in the comments.
They kicked him off of YouTube already.
Yeah, his first show they got rid of him because he was saying it's all the shoes' fault. He was blaming all the shoes.
Yeah, you got to be careful with saying that. I mean,
Correct.
It's another cat. I'm really surprised. I don't know if you know about Lights Camera Action.
Oh yeah,
I'm surprised they haven't took him off yet at all, because he be says, and the thing about he be on point too with some stuff. Now I got my disagreements with him on a couple of things, but when it get to studying the occult and the Boule class and the Masonic organization, that Negro know his stuff.
Correct.
I mean,
we should cover some of that too.
I mean, like, how did this dude? No, not that, not Grandma
not
Mom.
Larry
We're
Johnson
talking
from
about
the
Larry Johnson, who used to play for the Chiefs. Yeah, and for those who are on, if you on Instagram and you can't find him, just hit me or Chris up. We're both on Instagram, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
it's not just look for Marcus Cage. I don't have it nothing special on there. Yeah, the womanizer, that one. Yo, I'm gonna send you some stuff with Darius, man. That dude be on some stuff sometimes. I be like, he be sounding like the black Jim Carrey from 23. Says I've been following Lights Camera Action of late too. I'll tell you what he gets wrong. I won't say it on camera. If you look up his debate that he had with Deacon Akah, he got it didn't work out good for him. And that's where he got exposed that he really don't know the Bible like he claims to. See, some of these guys, they just follow the occult stuff. They don't really know the Bible like they say. And when you start getting them in them deep waters, they get caught up. But yeah, got to be careful. Make sure I watch the time. I'll let
37.
Okay,
good.
I hit the 7 because you were like, oh, I see the 3 and 3 and the 6
and 3 6s, 3 6s, and they Boule niggas.
And then why he gonna go back and catch up? Did you see the hand sign that he made?
Correct.
Actually, secretly threw up a 6.
Yeah.
Or the I love the devil symbol. He'd be like, nobody naturally points like that.
Yeah, they Boule, they Freemasons.
Oh man, I can't even tell him that. I'll tell you this off camera, Chris.
Yeah.
I don't need them to come. Oh, yep, that's the other one. That's the other one that'll come after us, Allie. He probably waiting. I'm surprised he haven't been in the comments in a while coming after me. But yeah, that's another one. But yeah, y'all have a good one, man. Y'all enjoy your time off. Yeah, someone took over the teleprompter. Remember, he said, "I'm the human typewriter."
Yeah,
that's what he literally called me. I'm the human typewriter. Like nobody moves naturally like that. Start saying my jaw was weird, and you can tell I had some kind of drug problem. And you can ask my cousin. Outside of smoking some bud in the past, that's about all I've ever done. I ain't touched no damn drugs, but yeah, Misha, my brother, Shalom, and Kwame Yasharala.